Member of Parliament for Mufumbwe constituency. And I remember visiting Congo with my chairperson some years back to check on the projects. Thank you. You're welcome.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair.
Morning.
Good morning, honorable members of Parliament, our permanent witnesses, our visitors from Sikongo Council. You're most welcome. My name is Honorable Kamlenga. I am Member of Parliament for the good people of Kadurushi on the Copper Belt. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary, my name is Mulunda Darius. I'm a Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, and I'm the chairperson for the committee appearing before this morning, the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, members enjoy the immunity, and the same is extended to you when you appear before any parliamentary committee, that whatever you say during our interaction will not be used against you. However, if you choose to mislead the committee, the same Cap 12 will be used against you. I have no doubt in my mind that you would take that route, and that you give us factual information this morning, the information that we use to generate a good report to submit before Honorable Madam Speaker. With that said, I want to invite you now to make your submission, and you are not appearing as accused, you are appearing as witnesses, and as witnesses, you are just helping us with the information that we are seeking clarifications. And you are under Cap 12 now, you can say anything you want to say, and under Cap 12 you don't have colleagues that you can feel to maybe to express yourself, because there is Honorable Shakafuswa. Under Cap 12 you are all members of the same family. He will ask you questions. He will not. I will make sure that he doesn't avoid. He will ask you questions so that you give him the right information to write a report. With that said, Council Secretary, you may now proceed. Of course, with further guidance that you read, you highlight the query, and you go to the management responses, the management action, and of course the remedy that management is offering. So you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll go straight to the cause of the query. On the first query, management would like to acknowledge the observation made by the Auditor General and wishes to inform the committee that the cause of the delay in the procurement of the boats was due to challenges faced by the supplier, which was lack of specific materials which were needed for the boats to be made. Hence, the procurement was slower than expected, Chair. Action taken. Management wishes to inform the committee that Congo Town Council has managed to procure all the 6 boats, despite the challenges faced. The local authority has now managed to deliver all the 6 boats to their designated places for use. Management also wishes to inform the committee that the boats have since been inscribed. So on the picture there is the boat for crossing point at Lueti. We also have on Figure 2 Congo Hospital boat. We have the Kaka boat, we have the Kanchuma boat, Malondo boat, and the Liumena boat, and all of them have been inscribed and delivered. Remedial measures. Management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, management has resolved that due diligence will be conducted before award of contract to a supplier in order to ensure that they have the capacity to supply and the goods within the stipulated period, and that all assets shall be inscribed with clear identification marks as proof that they are properties of Congo constituency. The second one, Chair, on cause of query, management would like to acknowledge the observation made by the Auditor General and wishes to inform the committee that the cause for the delay in completion was due to the fact that Congo constituency is one of the... Chair, I would like to make a correction here. Instead of flood date, I think it should read flooding. Because flooded, it will mean as if it's flood. It continues flooding throughout the year, but it floods whenever we have heavy downpour of rains. Starting from the month of November to May of the following year, 90% of the areas in the district are impassable due to floods. In the case of Makalu General Dealers, allow me to draw your attention to the start date, which was 27th October 2022. And completion date of 1st January 2023. This is the period when floods are imminent in the district. Hence, the contractor was adversely affected by the presence of the floods. This hindered access to the site to ferry materials so that it could begin works. Regarding the scheduled works, when it was realized that the water levels had subsided, the contractor quickly mobilized on site and began works. Unfortunately, due to the pressure to complete the project, scheduled works were done, Chair. Action taken on the query. Management wishes to inform the committee that as a local authority in charge of supervision, we wrote to the contractor with regards to the noticed snags and requested him to redo the works and rectify all the snags identified. The contractor has since rectified all the snags and defects, and the project has been completed and handed over. The contractor was also written to in January of 2023 with regards to the slow pace of progress and completion of the project. Further, the contractor requested for extension of the contract in September and October of 2023, which were justified and approved. Chair, those are the pictorial evidence of the classroom, a 1x2 classroom block, the front view and the rear view, and the side view. Remedial measures, Chair. Management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, management has resolved to intensify project supervision and continue certifying the works at each stage of construction to ensure quality works are done to avoid short works. Especially that we have been given the vehicle for supervision. The next one, Chair, because of the query, management would like to acknowledge the observation made by the Auditor General and wishes to inform the committee that the cause for the delay in completion was due to the fact that Congo constituency is one of the constituencies. Again, another correction, Chair, where it's written flooded, it should be flooding. That has flooding areas starting from the month of November to May of the following year. 90% of the areas in the districts are impassable due to floods. Management wishes to inform the committee that completion of the staff house at the Nene Primary School is one of the projects that is located in the flood-prone areas. At the time of the signing of the contract, the road leading to the site was inaccessible due to floods, hence the contractor could not finish the works within the initial stipulated time. Fortunately, works resumed after the floods subsided. Initially, the pace of the contractor was slow, despite giving him the necessary advance payment to commence. That word should read commence, Chair, the works efficiently. Action taken on the query. Management wishes to inform the committee that efforts were made to ensure that the contractor expedites the works on the building, and management had also appointed a project manager to manage this particular project. This was done so as to ensure that there were personnel overseeing the works at all times to ensure that contractor completed the works within the stipulated completion period. Consequently, significant progress was made and the project has since been completed as at 9th January 2024. Remedial measures. Management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, Chair, again, there's a correction there. Just after resolved, ensure should be deleted. So it should read, management has resolved that a project manager is assigned to every project and frequent monitoring and supervision visits are conducted. Further, in order to avoid the delayed completion of projects, contracts for projects in flood-prone areas will be awarded outside the flooding season. The next, Chair, is for the cause of a query. Management wishes to inform the committee that the pupils in question are in fact residents of Congo constituency. The cause for the query was that at the time of audit, the documents to prove that the 19 pupils were actually residents of Congo were misfiled, hence they could not be availed to the auditors at the time. This is what caused the query to be elevated. Action taken. Management wishes to inform the committee that minutes and other documents were recovered and have been attached as evidence that these residents of Congo constituency. These documents that show that the people actually residents of Congo constituency are ready for verification as on Appendix 4. Remedial measures. Management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, management has resolved that all documents shall be filled accordingly, and will ensure that the 2022 Constituency Development Fund guidelines are adhered to at all times. Chair, the next one. Cause of the query, management acknowledges...
Just there, yes. Firstly, you have to read the title of the cause of the query. For example, in this case, it's sponsoring children for civil servants and other public, service workers. Then you go to cause of the query. Okay.
Thank you, Chair, for the guidance.
All right.
So the next one is sponsoring children for civil servants and other public service workers. Management acknowledges the observation made by the Auditor General and wishes to inform the committee that Congo Town Council received applications and the recommendations from the Ward Development Committee for evaluation and processing of CDF bursaries component. However, according to the procedure, the Ward Development Committee recommends to the Constituency Development Fund Committee, which later recommends to the Ministry for approval. Management further wishes to indicate that it was very difficult to identify the people that belong to civil servants or public service workers when the Ward Development Committee for that particular ward has made the recommendations, and Orphans and Vulnerability Committee has deemed the pupil as vulnerable. Action taken, Chair. Management has since stopped any school boarding fees sponsorship to the queried pupils. The Congo Boarding Secondary School and Ward Development Committee have been informed to ensure that pupils belonging to civil servants and public service workers are not eligible to be considered under CDF bursaries sponsorship. Management ensured that all the wards and Congo Boarding Secondary School are sensitized on the eligibility criteria, and notices were placed in strategic positions for all to see the eligibility criteria. Remedial measures, Chair. Management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, the CDF committee will use the vulnerability report to verify the vulnerable pupils who are recommended by the Ward Development Committee that qualify for bursary sponsorship. The learner should have parents, guardians who have no reliable source of income, and that the 2022 Constituency Development Fund guidelines are followed at all times. Additionally, management will seek policy guidance from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on pupils that have parents or guardians who are civil servants that belong to the lower income bracket. Chair, the next one is students without proof of completing skills courses. Cause of query, management would like to acknowledge the observations made by the Auditor General and wishes to inform the committee that the cause of query was an oversight on the collection of some certificates that are TVETA accredited to indicate that the students completed their courses. Some students were taking one-year courses, as the certificates at the time of audit were not yet ready, as their schooling was still in progress. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to inform the committee that Congo Town Council has managed to collect and distribute certificates that are ready to the students and written to all the schools of concern, like Kalabo Trades School, to provide the necessary proof of completion of courses in form of certificates which are TVETA accredited. The table below shows the number of students. Remedial measures, Chair. Management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, management has resolved that all documents that are evidence of graduation of students will be filed accordingly. The next query is failure to realize revenue for rice farming business. This is for grants. Cause of the query, management wishes to inform the committee that the main economic activities in Congo is rice farming. The people in Congo have been cultivating this crop from that time, hence the majority of the clubs, cooperatives opted to undertake a venture that they have skills in. Unfortunately, Chair, the 2022-2023 farming season has been with little to no rainfall, which tremendously affected the main economic activity in the district. Action taken in order to ensure that natural calamities such as drought are mitigated. Congo Town Council has taken a number of measures, such as encouraging the farmers to utilize funds towards the purchase of farming implements and not focus on the purchase of rice seed. Once the equipment is bought, whether there is drought or not, the equipment will still be used regardless. Remedial measures. Sikongo Town Council has embarked on a mass sensitization and encouraging the farmers to diversify and not rely on rice farming only. Crops such as tomato and onion growing near water bodies can be very good ventures for the communities. Chair, we move to cross-cutting issues. The first one is budget performance. Cause of the query. Management wishes to inform the committee that the variance of 2 billion was caused by the deduction at the source by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for purposes of procuring a CDF motor vehicle. Management further wishes to inform the committee that the balance brought forward of 2,114,753 was for retention of 514,753 on capital projects for the years 2018 and 2019. Further, another 1.6 million was received on 30 September 2021, meant for 2021 community projects, which were not implemented in the same year, Chair. On community projects, the delay on expenditure was caused by late receipt of funds and lengthy procurement processes, acquiring clearance from the Director of Finance and Attorney General's office. On the loans, there was a delay in the formulation of the loan empowerment form that applicants were required to fill in. Hence, the component was locked till November 2022. There was a need for the Zambia Bank, the bank that we used for loan empowerment, to do the desk appraisal and field appraisal of the proposed business plans and also conduct the financial literacy to the loan beneficiaries, including the terms and conditions of service. It was very important for the local authority to allow the bank to conduct a field appraisal simply because from experience and expert judgment, it was observed that 80% of the loan applicants were startup companies that had little or no experience in running a profitable business. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to inform the committee that the unspent funds of 15,359,213 have now been spent as at 31st December 2023, as indicated on the table below. Total amount spent is 14,873,891 kwacha, leaving a balance of 485,322 kwacha for disaster contingency. These funds are already committed. That's the table, Chair. Remedial measures. Management wishes to inform the committee that the process will start in advance, even before the confirmation of funds, because the process has now been decentralized. Management endeavors to identify community projects through the Audit Development Committee as prescribed in the guidelines. The loan applications will be prepared, youth and women empowerment grant beneficiaries processed. Application forms for skills development and bursary boarding sponsorship appeals are processed on time and implementation done as soon as possible. Chair, the second one is failure to spend. Cause of the query. Management acknowledges the observations made by the Auditor General. Management would like to inform the committee that the delay in spending the balance of 8,864,070 kwacha was caused by delays caused by long procurement procedures, late disbursements of funds which were received late in September, November and December 2022. This made it difficult for us to spend such used funds in a very short period of time. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to inform the committee that we have since implemented the 2021 and 2022 CDF projects. Remedial measures. Management wishes to inform the committee that the process will start in advance, even before the confirmation of funds, because the process has now been decentralized, like I said earlier, Chair. We always do our best to identify community projects through our development committees and area councillors. Appendix 8, failure to disperse soft loans. Cause of query. Management would like to acknowledge the observation made by the Auditor General and wishes to mention that a number of factors led to the delayed disbursement of empowerment loans for 2022. Firstly, there was a delay in the formulation of the loan empowerment form that applicants were required to fill in as the component was locked. There was also a need for the Zambia Bank to conduct desk appraisal and field appraisal for the proposed business plans and also conduct the financial literacy training to the loan beneficiaries, including the terms and conditions of the same loans. It was very difficult for the local authority to allow the bank to conduct a field appraisal simply because from experience and expert judgment, it was observed that 80% of the loan applicants were startup companies that had little or no experience in running a profitable business. Action taken, management wishes to inform the committee that Congo Town Council has worked well with the bank in ensuring that the loan applicants are thoroughly scrutinized, and we have since managed to disperse the loans to all 2022 loan beneficiaries. Remedial measures, management wishes to inform the committee that going forward, we have engaged the bank to ensure that it carries out financial literacy trainings, the desk appraisal and field appraisals of the business plans or projects in good time so as not to delay the disbursement of the funds to beneficiaries. Appendix 9.1, bursary, secondary school and skills development and spent grants. Cause of the query, management would like to inform the committee that a number of factors led to failure to spend on bursary secondary school and skills development component. The delay in spending the balance of 2,624,442 was caused by the low demand for secondary boarding schools and the presence of only one boarding school with limited capacity in the district. Further, the district does not have a trade school, hence students have to be sent to other districts for studies. Action taken. Management wishes to inform the committee that sensitization was held with various communities and ward development committees. After sensitization, we had a number of students applied and sponsored to various trade schools. The increase in the enrollment for secondary boarding school pupils and skills development students are 52.4% and 91.1% respectively. The table below shows. Chair, I would like to make a correction on this table where it's written total amount. It's supposed to be total number. Remedial measures. Management wishes to inform the committee that we have intensified sensitization activities in the constituency in order to have even greater numbers in the coming years. I wish to assure the committee that all the remedial measures submitted shall be enhanced to improve on the accountability function in order to attain expected service delivery to the community. I submit for your consideration, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Simumba.
Chair, thank you very much. CS, I'll take you to page 11 and 12. 11 and 12, because there are similar queries which are there, sponsoring pupils from other constituencies and also sponsoring children for civil servants and other public service workers. I note, CS, that you have attributed to the sponsoring of these students from other constituencies, and have stated in your report that you misfiled the applications that were, rendered to you. The first question, which begs an answer, because we are talking about 19 pupils at a cost of 57,000 kwacha. Chair, I wanted to find out if this misfiling of papers were just for these 19 pupils. Why didn't they misfile other applications, but specific for these 19, the council misfiled? Secondly, only the sponsoring of children for civil servants and other public service. I wanted to find out how much was involved for these 10 children, and also what action has the management taken to make sure that our funds should be refunded. Chair, I submit for now.
Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. The misfiling was just for the same. That's how come Auditor General, when they came, they didn't see this. But afterwards, that's when we located the files. Because, Chair, I can safely say that we are in a temporal building. Our civic center hasn't been completed. So the office of the district planning officer is very small, so certain files are put separately, so it became very difficult. But afterwards, we found these documents, and we have since rectified everything, I think, according to Appendix C.
Council Secretary, your filing system, are you using box files or what?
In the meantime, we are using box files.
But were you not using box files before?
No,
because for you to put a box file can contain 19 applications. You can put them in one.
No, you are right, Chair. We are using box files, and we have been using box files. You discover that when you are filing these forms, maybe first of all you start with individual files for students. Then afterwards, when you complete the process, you have to file them now in a box file. So these were misfiled. But at the end of the day, we found them.
We're supposed to be filing those documents.
We have the registry clerk, and also there's a committee, is it a committee clerk? The registry clerk from the planning department.
Honorable.
On the same chair, I would want to find out, where did you find the very box, and how did it found where you find it?
Like I mentioned, the Chair, the office is very small. We have a lot of documents in the planning office. When the Auditor General came, we were looking for them. We didn't find them. That's how come the query, I think, remained in the document. But afterwards, even when they came for verification, we didn't find it. But finally, we found them. By the time we were rushing to them to say we have found the documents, they had already escalated the issue, the query, sir.
Council Secretary, from your responses, you indicated you have more than one person doing the filing. Is it registry clerk and somebody there? And at the end of the day, the auditors will give you time, isn't it? They will write to you that we are coming. And when they write to you, they will indicate the areas of concern. And it's incumbent upon you to put those documents in place. So even that time, we couldn't find the box file, one box file. Your mic.
Unfortunately, Chair, we didn't find the documents even for the second time when they came for verification. But like I mentioned earlier.
So then when they went away, then you found it.
That's when now we intensified. Like I mentioned, the office is very small. The registry office is also very small.
No, that we appreciate. But me, what I'm looking at, a very small office. You can even remove everything out, put them outside. It's a small office. It has just many files. And when you have two people dedicated to look for that file, so now these auditors are coming and they want these documents. And this, can you remove everything and start packing nicely? It's difficult to do that, to find it in that way. And then when they go, what did you do to find the file?
Chair, you are right. When when they went, physically, I went into that office to make sure that those things are done. Because we were also given, I think, say, before we escalate, can we have these documents? Now, by the time we located the files, we traveled to Mongu to go and submit. It was too late, Chair, so I apologize for that.
Honourable Member, another question? Honourable Nyambos?
Sponsoring children for civil servants.
Oh, yeah. Your comment, Council Secretary?
And also what they have done to make sure that these monies, because Chair, these are public funds, what measures have you put in place to make sure that they defund these monies that you used for civil servants and public service workers, children?
Thank you, Chair. The first and foremost, I would like to mention that that's the time when we are doing this, the bursary sponsorship. Because initially, the sponsorship was under social welfare. So now there's a committee, the vulnerability committee, which sits. There's also the ward development committee, which sits. So us as a council, we received these applications, and we based on those applications. We even paid the monies for all the students, because it's Congo boarding. I think that's the time it was just opening. It was a new school. So when we paid, I indicated to everyone to make sure that all the monies that were paid should be for vulnerable pupils. Before we did our due diligence, Auditor General came and isolated that those were children of civil servants. When we also went through there, we discovered it was true. We stopped the sponsorship because it was a bit late after we had already paid. So what we have, according to the remedial measures, Chair, we have stopped sponsoring those students.
So, Council Secretary, when are you supposed to pay? When are you supposed to effect the payment for students?
For the boarding school,
what is the procedure?
We paid in advance because...
I'm saying, when are you supposed to do that? Yes. You paid in
We paid just before the schools opened because there were a lot of issues that were needed.
Why?
The boarding school didn't have food. The boarding school didn't have mattresses.
Sir, that's not your problem. Your problem is accountability.
Yes, sir.
Whether they don't have mattress, so now, have you seen now, because you wanted to solve someone's problem, yes, you ended up creating a problem for yourself by paying the money that you're not supposed to pay, by abusing the funds, I can say, because you're not supposed to do in the first place. You're not supposed to do that. So you just hear people have no mattresses, then you pay. People have no food, then you pay. Is that your problem?
It isn't,
not
Chair.
At all. Not at all.
We based on the reports.
Which reports?
The vulnerability report and the CDF committee
now,
report.
Listen and listen very carefully.
Yes, sir.
The CDF committee, we sit there as members of parliament.
Yes.
We produce first, the list will come from the WDCs.
Yes,
I don't know whether you had the list. Did you get the list from WDCs?
Yes.
And then did you go through to see that all those students are not sponsored by community development or social welfare? You didn't do that. Then there is a list that comes from CDF. Of course, CDF we approve.
Yes.
Then we give it to the council.
Yes.
It's the duty of the council now to make sure that they see to it that these are the students that are in school after they have opened. Because what we have devised, Honorable Nyambos, I hope I'm right, what we have devised is 2 weeks after schools have opened. That's when you can go there and find out who is in school, and that's when you ask the school to raise an invoice. Okay. And make payments, not before.
Okay.
Honorable Nyambos.
Thank you very much, Chair, and apologies for joining late. My full names are Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose, representing the special people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province and a member of this committee. Chair, listening to the Council Secretary and having read this report in the night, I am equally concerned, just like all the members of this committee. Council Secretary, you become a sponsor of defunct colleges by being very generous, paying them without verification. Chair, even the first question that was asked, I found Honorable Simumba asking about sponsorship of non-Congo residents. The auditors picked it because they could not verify on any of the lists that this list is coming from WDCs or the CDF committee in Congo. Further, you are sponsoring children belong for civil servants, contrary to the regulation. When are you supposed to do a verification? That is the question number one. Where is the planner? Where is the auditor? I would like to hear from the auditor. The internal auditor, when you are making a payment, you are supposed to verify who are these people. Are we paying according to the regulation that is set? So the internal auditor should furnish this committee good reasons as to why you went ahead to pay for non-Congo residents. Every time, Chair, in conclusion, that they fail to satisfy the external auditors, 2 days later, they are chasing auditors that were found the documents. This is a common story that is here. If you watch every day, that's what you do. And I don't know if that is what you are being taught in Chalimbana, that for this one, go and say this. We are not going to allow that. If you are failing to administer this CDF in Congo, then you should morally leave the office. Leave for those who are capable of. You cannot pay contrary to the regulations. You have no regard for regulations. Then what are we doing to this country? Council Secretary, where is the internal auditor who passed these payments without furnishing the external auditors from Auditor General's office?
Internal auditor, did you see these payments?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I saw the payment. Now I checked on the vulnerability report, because looking at Congo, sir, Chair, it's a place which is in a remote area. Now when the CS says we paid in advance because the school never had the logistics, and there was outcry everywhere to say we need to do other logistics.
Internal audit, we want you to.
Yes, I'm coming there.
No, wait. Let me talk, because what we are saying here is the abuse of public funds. Are you going to go ahead because people have 10 people have come crying at your house? Are you going to break the law because they have come to your house crying? What we want to find out is, ours is to see to it, to whether you have followed the regulations. Because even if somebody died, we still want to see whether you have followed the regulations, whether the law says that. Because if you did that, then anyone else can do that. Anyone else, because everybody will say, no, we saw these people crying, so we decided that money for food, we decided to give them as transport money. That's what everybody will do. So even as you are responding now, you should be relating yourself to the regulations. Please go ahead.
Chair, maybe let me help my auditor. These issues, after discovering, because initially we thought of relying on those reports, but at the end of the day, then all these things were discovered. That's why now I told the auditor to say, can we now do due diligence? And we apologize, Chair, that this won't repeat itself. You know, that's the time when we were just starting this sponsorship. And you know, people were excited. This one will bring the child without even knowing whether the father is a civil servant.
Even yourself, you are excited. You paid. Because people are excited, you also got excited and paid. Isn't it?
Not all that, but we relied on the reports, Chair. But when we verified the reports according to the Auditor General's report, then we moved in.
Yes, a follow-up.
Chair, what comes first is what puts you in that office. When I report here, what are the do's and don'ts of Parliament? When I enter Parliament, what am I supposed to do? You cannot rely on outsiders who come. The issue is you today. How professional are you? Did you act on this transaction? Today, Chair, I've come with a notebook. I want to be noting so that when the Local Government Service Commission come, I'll be writing down. Because if you entrust officers, the internal auditors, who use their heart instead of the regulation, they start expending money, public resources, anyhow, contrary to the regulation, then we have a problem. There is no justification. So you must follow the law to the letter. What makes you to sit in that office? You leave your home, you go there. Is the regulations. Why did you pay contrary to the regulation when you knew very well you are just sharing money? This college is a new one. It's an old one. They don't have money for mattresses. Let's pay them. Is that the way it's supposed to do? I want to see a concrete answer.
Chair, I will still continue. We appreciate the concerns, Honorable Nyambose. Like I've said earlier, that we apologize for that mistake. But in future, that won't repeat itself, because we have learned a lesson that, because like you are saying, we thought of first of all pay and
you
then...
see, Council Secretary, without labeling,
Yes.
you know, saying whatever you're saying, your colleagues in your situation, in your boat, your colleagues would do unreservedly say, we are sorry, we are not supposed to do that. But you, as long as you continue saying, you know, we looked at the situation, so we are saying, if your children have no food, you as the father, you can go and steal. You can go and break someone's, because you are looking at the situation at home. You need to feed them. Then you can go and break someone's shop to feed them. No, it should not be like that. What we want is just following the law. That's all.
Yes. Chair, thank you. I wanted to find out, how are you going to recover this man, and who is going to recover? Are you going to pay as a council management, or any measures that you have taken to make sure that these public funds are recovered, especially this 36,000 that you sponsored children for civil servants and other public service workers? What measures have you put in place to make sure that you recover?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. With that, I think we're going to write to the boarding schools what they refund.
So when did you pay? When did you pay that money?
2020, 2022.
No, we have a record. When did you pay? Give us the actual date you paid.
Yes.
When did you pay?
Appendix 4.
Yes.
Thank you so much. As you are still looking for the answers, yes, I know you are busy flipping pages.
Yes, sir.
From the time that you made the payment up to date, why didn't you realize on your own that this money is supposed to be recovered? Not until you have been asked here on how you are going to recover. You have never thought of recovering that money and how you recover it. You know, I'll continue checking for when you paid.
Give me the date, please. When did you pay? Treasurer, internal auditor, when was that money paid?
On which appendix? 4. Okay.
When did you pay?
2022.
When?
8th April 2022.
And today is what? How many months? 2022, 2023, 1 year, almost 2 years now. And the Council Secretary, you come here and say we are going to write.
Further, Chair, the Council Secretary says we are going to write to the school. How the school provided a service to those pupils that were duly recommended by the same team? How does the school pay back? The issue is they are supposed to pay back themselves as officers for making wrong decisions. The school provided the service arising from their recommendation. So the question still stands from Honorable and my colleague here. Why did it take this committee to remind you about recovery? And who is responsible for the 36,000 kwacha? Further, Chair, they said that they depend on a vulnerability report. Chair, we are all members of Parliament. The people who identify these students or pupils are starting from WDCs.
Yes.
They know themselves, whichever report they use. They know, even actually the WDCs have been oriented. They know that this is a child of a civil servant they cannot recommend. They don't do that. Then when it comes to the CDF committee, they will go through these competent officers who guide who is eligible. But for this case, they are saying that the auditor based on a vulnerability report. I wanted to hear the auditor say that we depended on the report from the WDCs who recommended this. So the people are supposed to pay back are the officers, council secretary and his team for making these public resources go to wrong people instead of helping the other people in East Congo who were supposed to be sponsored.
Council Secretary, first before even you, Council Secretary, internal auditor, according to the CDF guidelines, which institution are you supposed to base your decision on? Is it a vulnerability report or the WDC report?
Thank you, Chair.
According to the guidelines.
WDC.
No, I'm just asking you that because whatever explanation, I wanted you to be categoric on that one. Local government, the Ministry of Local Government, the auditors, external auditors, we want that case. We want that case of civil servants that were paid, went to school, and everything done by these people. We want you to go and look at it. You give us a report about it because, like my colleague has plainly put it, when the identification starts from WDCs, those ones who do know this one is a child of a teacher. This one is the father works for the council, and they went on to do that. At the end of the day, they did that. So there are a lot of wrong things done around the sponsorship there. The bursary, the skills development, we want you to go back and get to the bottom of that. Further, we want to speak to you, internal auditor. Internal auditor, your duty is to, we'll be very interested even now to look at your comments to the management. What did you say? What was your comment? In agreeing to their proposal, what was your comment? Because you agreed to pay.
Thank you, Chair. The recommendation came through WDCs.
No. You're not getting my point. I'm saying yourself. You are the auditor.
Yes.
So you look at this payment. So when you look at the payment, you see whether it should be passed or not. But if you feel the management is bulldozing or they want it paid, what was your comment? Or in agreeing or in opposing, what was your comment?
Okay, thank you, Chair. In agreeing, I looked at pre-audit level, I looked at all the documents which were attached on the payment voucher. And they had the minutes from WDCs. They also supported by OVC report, which had members from social welfare. And most of the students that were being sponsored, there are those who are coming from community development. That's why.
So me, I don't want to. I told you in the first place that you don't want to look at, because your guidelines are not coming from social welfare or community development. They don't come from there. They're coming from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. That's where they come from, not from social welfare. When you went for workshops, they are guiding you, they are telling you that these monies, you can only implement them in this fashion, not by looking at it. When you went for a workshop, did they tell you about social welfare or community development? They didn't. They looked at specifically there. Now that you looked at those things, have you found that now you are paid for the pupils that are not supposed to be paid for? Who is at fault?
Chair, we are very sorry for the...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who is at fault? You are at fault, isn't it?
Yes, sir, Chair. Yes, Chair. We are
so
sorry.
We'll leave that one. We have assigned the relevant officers to do that. The next question, Honorable Nyambosa, Honorable Mwena, and the Honorable Manza.
Yes, Chair, it's related to the same. It's on page 13.
Page 13 of... Council Secretary, page 13 of your report.
Students without proof of completing skills courses. Chair, about 76 out of 76 students, 25, let me say 176 students graduated from a short-term sponsored course. However, there was no proof that the 76 students had graduated or not, meaning that they did not have certificates. Chair, these students, management, action taken by management wishes to inform the committee that Congo Town Council has managed to collect the undistributed certificates that are ready to students and written to all schools concerning what Kalabo Trades and the other college. Chair, my interest is on Appendix 6.
Appendix 6.
Appendix 6, Chair.
Let's go to Appendix 6.
Yeah, they have attached only one certificate out of the 76, showing us that they have since submitted. Further, Chair, there was correspondence between the council secretary and the colleges in question. Chair, on the 20th July 2023, the first letter from the council was, it is here. It was on the 3rd July 2023 to Kalabo Trades School. 3rd July, the Kalabo Trades School only replied on the 28th July 2023. They acknowledged, and these, following the request dated 3rd July, I wish to inform you that the certificates for the particular states have since yet been issued by the examination board, which is Taveta. The institution will save you with certificates soon. So, Chair, the other letter was on the 5th December 2023. This was from Kalabo Trades, and this is where I have the interest. It says, we are in receipt. We write to inform you that we are in receipt of your letter dated 15th November 2023. We wish to inform you that the certificates for particular students have not yet been issued by the examination board, Taveta. We wish to inform you that some of the students, though payments was done in the year 2022, only reported to school in 2023. Are you there, CS? Hence the delay in. So, did you do a physical verification? And if you did a physical verification of which students started their courses from which month of 2023 to which month, did you furnish, how did you fail to furnish the auditors that crucial information indicating that instead of 2022, the students actually reported to 2023? Because the period we are looking at is 2022. This is the audit we are looking at. Now, the auditors discovered that they were students that were sponsored. According to the reports or documents that the auditors saw, they saw that you had sponsored students for short courses, and they did not get their certificates confirming that they were sponsored. But here is a school who is disputing to say, no, we didn't have students in 2022. We only had them in 2023. What is this? But you paid for them in 2022. A payment was done. The figures are there. Which students did you pay for this year 2022, which the college is disputing? And why does it take Taveta accredited colleges long to give certificates to graduates? Why does it take more than a year? Those are my first questions, Chair.
Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chair. First of all, the issue of Taveta and, and the trade school, That one, Chair, I can't answer because it's the trade school and the TVETA that deal in terms of, because they are the ones that give certificates to students. So us, our role is to send officers to go and find out those who have graduated and get the certificates. Secondly, we only attached one because there are a lot. We carried some of them in our file. We didn't want to insert all of them. Some of them are in this file here. We carried them, sir, so that they can be also be seen. So now, for those who reported in 2023, the time when our students were reporting for Kalabo trades, there was an issue of COVID, so there was something like congestion. So others were deferred to start in 2023.
Honorable Sumumba, before I make
yes, Chair. When you look at this query, we're talking of 2022.
Yes.
And according to the information that the institution is giving us is quite okay, Chair. They paid in 2022.
Yes.
But those students, the reason why at the end of the year 2022 they didn't have those certificates is because they never reported. That's the catching point, Chair. They were paid for 2022, but they never reported. How can they get certificates? They can't. So, why were you not doing your monitoring? Because also this, Chair, shows that the management was not doing their work. And yet, Chair, the administrative cost is done. On page 18. I wanted to, on page 18, the administrative cost is 00. And yet, we have students that you paid that never went to school. Why? What were you using this administrative cost for? If you cannot use to go and monitoring and find out if the pupils have reported. And yet, we have 00 here. Where were you using this administrative cost for? Chair, submit.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
First and foremost, the issue of students, we were aware that because when they reported, there are less boarding facilities. Meanwhile, we paid for them. Little did we know that Kalabo trades had little facilities. So, because of COVID.
But Kalabo, that the appetite to pay.
Kalabo,
no, I mean, you know they are going to sleep in the bush, you pay. You still pay.
No, initially we didn't know that. So when the students reported, that's when now the issue of COVID came in to say, okay, since there's congestion, then we said, no, can we do due diligence here? That's how come other students were now deferred to the other year. But like you have said, Chair, we paid for all of them. Now, others, it was due to the duration of courses. Others were handling 3 months, others it was 6 months, others 1 year. So when you go to collect the certificates, you only collect for those that are ready. So during the time of audit, we just collected those that are ready. And when we went back, we just collected those that were ready. I can still safely say that other certificates are still there.
Auditors, another query. Another one that you need to go and look at those certificates.
Yes.
Let's look at the infrastructure. We see where this money is. Yes.
Thank you so much, Chair. My question is on page 4. CS.
Page 4?
Yes. Completion of a classroom block at Lumbamba Primary School. Chair, if you read through the preamble, you find that, Chair, I want to guide you, CS, on the last paragraph of this, which says there were some short works on the roof as the J-hooks were not hooked to the ripped channels. The walls were poorly plastered and the window frames were poorly welded. These are structures in Congo. This is an example of a structure.
Page 4?
On page 4, Chair. Just before management response, the paragraph on top, which starts with further.
Further, okay.
Yes, Chair. That is where this information is depicted. Yes. Why don't you monitor projects in Congo? Yet all administrative cost has been exhausted as indicated by Honorable Simumba? And then secondly, why should you give contracts to incompetent contractors? Because for a contractor to reach such a stage of poor or shoddy works, it simply means that, one, this contractor is not monitored closely because that particular contractor is incompetent and requires close monitoring, which you were not providing. Okay? So, Chair, those are my two questions. Firstly, just a reminder, is why don't you monitor projects in East Congo, yet you have exhausted all the administrative cost? And secondly, why do you give projects to incompetent contractors? I submit, Chair.
Secretary.
First and foremost, it is very, very difficult, Chair, to know the contractor that is incompetent or not. Because when they apply, we follow the profiles that they give us, and then we give, and then we continue monitoring them. That is the time when most of the contractors were very new in Congo, and that's the time when we had a lot of projects. So it was difficult maybe to even know other contractors were coming from, because Congo had very few contractors, except for now, that at least we have a lot of local contractors, those that can do good work.
Yes, but
in terms of monitoring,
your response there, your response just there, Council Secretary, that yes, you didn't have contractors and you are building capacity on contractors, but there is one cure that you would have used. The cure you would have used was to, since you knew that you didn't have, was to be always on them, supervising almost every day. You are checking, but at the end of the day now, we even see roofing hooks and all those, meaning you are not following what was happening on the ground. Before you respond, Honorable Mwanza, is it on the same, and then Honorable Nyambosa? No, no, is it on the same? Is it on the same? Yes. I just wanted to take, for him to take all the questions.
Chair, just to augment what Honorable Mwena said. On page, the next page, page 5, management is even justifying why should the work were taking place. They have written a statement here. The last paragraph before action taken on the query. Regarding the shoddy work, when it was realized that the water levels had subsided, the contractor quickly mobilized on site and began works. Unfortunately, due to the pressure to complete the project, shoddy works were done. This is management. So and we have a director of works, I'm sure.
Where was management at that time?
Like I mentioned earlier on, Chair, the director works, I think that's the time when we were just reporting from MITED. So from there, it took about 2 weeks to familiarize himself, and then he came. And that's when now we started working on that. Immediately he saw the snags, he quickly wrote to the contractor.
Where was this pressure coming from that made our contractor to do shoddy works?
Well, because of the delay, we were almost terminating the contract.
No, I'm saying, where was the pressure coming from that caused the shoddy work?
The pressure was coming from the contractor being a new person, because all new contractors, we were giving them completion, not construction. So they were trying to make up that they are good contractors, but in the process they did wrong things. That's when he came in now to tell them what he's supposed to do. At the moment, if you went to this school, Chair, they have done a very, very good work and they have handed over after proper monitoring and supervision.
Dr. Mwanza?
On page 17.
Sorry, Dr. Mwanza.
Yes, sorry, Dr. Mwanza, to just finish off my question. Seriously, are you telling me that you need to be an engineer for you to be able to see that these hooks have not been well fitted, that this window frame is not okay, that this window pane is almost falling off? Do you need to be an engineer? And if not, why then, in spite of not having the director of works, why were you not able to see these short works? I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Council Secretary.
Like I mentioned here, Chair, this is the time when we had the floods. So from this Congo gets cut off at one point. So there are certain areas that we can't reach. So now when, like I mentioned, when the waters subsided, that's when we started going now to the site.
So it wasn't the issue of the engineer, it was the issue of the floods.
That's according to the question that the
No, according to your responses that you have been giving, because you said the contractor had the pressure to finish, and at that time we didn't have the director of engineering, he just came in, so showed the works. Now you are saying we could not access the places he was doing on his own, and then we discovered the showed works. Which one?
So the engineer just enhanced the works because alone, or because the planning person is very busy with his budget issues, the auditors are also busy. So it's an issue of enhancing the specific projects according to the offices. So on that one, again, we apologize because Congo is very vast. So it becomes very, very difficult. So that time we did have a vehicle.
Congo is bigger than
Lusaka.
Mufumbwe. Mufumbwe is 600 kilometers from here up to Livingston. So Congo is bigger than that. We came to Congo with...
Congo is 320.
Chair, on a lighter note, the CS is saying the DPO was busy with the bursaries, giving his civil servants.
Of course, they are busy with the appetite of paying. Yeah, we
yes,
want to wind up.
Yes, Chair, you know, to show that Congo was not doing monitoring, in simple terms, yes, to prove to you that you are not doing monitoring, and the reason why you are not doing monitoring was not because you had no director of works. It's because you simply chose not to do monitoring. Because you have proved to your committee that you do not need to be a director or an engineer to be able to see that this J-hook has not hooked. You do not need to be an engineer for you to be able to see that this ripped channel is not okay or this glass pane is about to fall off. You have confirmed to your committee. Meaning you just chose in Congo not to be doing monitoring. And to prove to you, CS, that you chose not to be doing monitoring. Chair, let's go to page 19. You see the outcome of your performance in Congo. And to prove to you that you were not doing monitoring because of floods also is the fact that, Chair, the contractor, in spite of the floods, the contractor was able to work. He was able to reach there. But the council could not reach there, giving the reason of floods, which is not correct, Chair, to mislead this committee. Because if the contractor is able to reach there, how can the council fail to reach there? To the extent that by the time they went there, they found various short works. Look at the outcome, Chair, there on the failure to spend, for example, on the number of outstanding projects. Out of 43, only 18 have been completed. All these, Chair, that have given us this outcome is
13.
Only 13 completed and 18 uncompleted, plus the 12 work in progress, implying actually that, Chair, 25 projects are not completed yet up to date.
25, 30 something.
Yes. So, Chair, may the CS not mislead us. He's just supposed to confirm to your committee that they chose not to do any monitorings in Congo.
Thank you.
Just like other councils, Chair. We cannot say because there is no director of works, then work should not move in that particular district. That cannot be taken by the government, Chair. In spite of the government having all other technocrats in place, including the CS himself. Some of the CS's, Chair, are actually engineers by profession. They can't leave that office where there is an AC to go and monitor the project just because they are CSs. Can the government take that? The answer is no, Chair. Chair, the councils must go on the ground and monitor projects, not like this as it is depicted in Congo. Because the main purpose of government giving out this CDF is to deliver to various places in the constituencies, countrywide. So if a council is not able to deliver projects like this is purely undermining government policies and government objectives. Councils cannot be keeping money in banks, whilst people do not have, whilst other civil servants don't have staff houses, whilst other people do not have crossing points, whilst our children have got nowhere to learn from, and yet local authorities are seated in offices with ACs. That cannot be taken, Chair, by the New Dawn government. I submit.
Thank you. Honorable Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. We go to page 17. I'll just give a summary of the budget performance of Sikongo.
Page 17?
Yes. Page 17 of the report. There's no interest that has been posted on the accounts, so we need a clarification on that. Then we go to page 18. Of all the income, all the monies that the council received, to date, it has been fully committed, except 485,322. So the page 18 shows the budget performance. Administration cost is 0, it's all gone. Bursaries all gone, soft loans spent, grants just like that, and the disaster 485,322 is what is in the account now. So then community projects, all the monies for community projects is committed in a contractor's hands. If we go to Appendix 9, Appendix 9 will show you how the funds have been distributed. Appendix 9, 2022 projects. On Appendix 9, you go to 2022 Constituency Development Fund projects. So there's a list of projects. I've counted there are 40 projects where the community projects component funds have been used to distribute. Now, my question is, when I've looked at these projects, remember, from page 18, all the funds are committed in contracts. When I've looked at the performance of these contracts, most of them are below 50%. Some of them, yes, have completed and handed over where there are no certificates. There are no completion certificates, no handover certificates. But my concern is that you just have 485,000 kwacha, which is money reserved under disaster. When I look at all these projects that you have committed the funds to 0, you need to up your game in terms of project management. Because we will find a situation, where we will have to terminate some contracts, because I've seen the performance of your contractors. Out of the 40 projects, almost 10 contracts have been you have terminated, and others are being re-advertised. You terminate a contract, you re-advertise, it might come with an increased cost. But you have finished all the community funds already committed to these contracts. So you terminate a contract, you have to find additional funds. Where are you going to get those funds? So I can just give an example of how one contract did not perform well, where you needed to get some additional funds. Project number 5 in quarter 2 projects. This list for 2022 projects, Chair, has got first quarter projects, second quarter projects and, third quarter. So project number 5 on quarter 2, which is the drilling of 5 boreholes. Is it the second page? Yes. Project number 6, sorry. Construction of 5 number boreholes for Mwenyi Ward. The contract sum was 240. What has been spent is 335. We have overshot the budget by close to 95,000 kwacha. Now, all the monies for community projects is committed in projects that you have signed with all these 40 contractors. You have no contingency, you have no breathing space to seek additional funds. How are you going to balance the budget performance based on the performance of your contractors? What measures are you putting in place such that you don't overshoot what you committed through the contracts? Because remember, you have no contingency in your council.
Yes. As you wind up, Honorable Simumba, Honorable.
Yeah, yes, Chair. Chair, just say right up. When you look at what the doc has said, community projects, we have spent everything. And when you look at these projects, I can just cite example, Chair. For instance, second quarter on the same Appendix 9, 2022 CDF, but second quarter, you look at construction of a police post, project number 3 on the second quarter. You have paid the contract sum is 645,307. You have paid 364, and the balance is 281. So now, where are you going to get this balance from to pay the contractor when you have spent everything here?
Yeah.
Again, Chair, also I would want to know on the same construction of 5 boreholes, where did you get the variation for this contract? Because you paid the 240. The contract sum is 240, as the doc has said, and they have paid 335. Where is the authority that you had to seek for variation of the difference 94,805? Chair, submit with those two.
Honorable Nyambose.
Yeah, mine is a simple one as a layman. On page 18, you have 8,864,070 kwacha, and you have committed all this money, as my two colleagues, Dr. Mwanza and Simumba, have indicated. You have spent all this money committed to these projects. Everything as per 2022, I'm looking at the year 2022, you committed even 70 kwacha and ingwes, assuming you paid this money. How feasible is it that you can be paying to projects exactly the total sum in ingwes and everything, owing to the fact or knowing for sure that banks charge their bank charges? Where does the bank get the charges if the monies that go in exactly go out in equal amount in a particular year? I just wanted to learn, I'm a layman, how correct and accurate is this arithmetic that no charges are there, everything goes to the contractors, and how do contractors bid exact to the amounts that are there? I submit, Chair.
Council Secretary, I hope you have taken note of all the questions.
First and foremost, I would like to talk about the issues of cooperation certificates that came from the Honorable MP. Cooperation certificates, we are issuing what I can call partial cooperation certificates, owing to the fact that we are going to issue the completed ones after the 1 year of monitoring. Because we're supposed to, there's a period called the deficit liability. Yes. So after that, that's when we're going to issue the full certificates. But some of the certificates that we have issued, I'm with them.
Yeah, just explain, because all these members, they are aware and well acquainted with all those processes.
Yes, sir. Secondly, when we talk about commitment, it does not mean that the money is not in the bank. We have just committed to projects. And I'm sure maybe the Director of Finance will shed more light on the balances that we have, because we have a statement of accounts. Secondly,
as a director, I said the bank charges and also the retention. What do you call?
The same retention.
The retention. Where is it going to come from? You have committed everything. As he peruses, those are the questions. As a layman.
Chair, the commitment also embraces the retention. We cannot just commit and then you remove the retention. It simply means that the monies that are earmarked for the projects are there for each project to finish.
Chair,
then,
sorry for just.
Chair, I'm getting.
We are not saying like if we check your bank balance today, you don't have any money. That's not it. Through all these 40 projects, you have already committed through the contracts. You've already committed the monies through the contracts. And each contract has a contract sum and a delivery period. But the question is, looking at the performance of all your contractors and how you've been doing the financials for the projects, on average, I can see that the likelihood of overshooting. I just gave one example actually here to show you how even the Honorable asked to say, where did you get the 94,000 kwacha? Even the authorities, the authority to spend above the budgeted amount. Those are just some of the examples. There are quite a number, that the contract amount that you committed, at the end of the day, you seek additional funding. So the question is, how do you get that additional funding when you have committed all the monies through these projects? I can even set another example where you sign a contract with a contractor and you pay the advance payment, 25%, and you terminate the contract. And you have re-advertised. The example is on 2022 community projects, the last page of community projects. So these are some of the financial mismanagement on these community projects. So my worry is that you are going to overshoot.
So thank you very much, Council Secretary.
So what control measures?
Can you clarify on those issues?
Yes.
Your mic.
Chair, the money is for, like I mentioned, for the projects. They are there.
Chair, Chair. When Council Secretary, when you say unspent funds, 8,864,70, then expenditure current balance, unspent balance 00. What do you mean? Does it mean which one is in the bank? When you say unspent balance currently is 00, which one is in the account? Is it 00 which is in the account, or expenditure current? Maybe from there, Chair, so that we know, because here it shows that what is in the account is 00.
Council Secretary, you should do, in your explanation, you should relate to what you have submitted to us. You shouldn't sway us to believe what you are explaining is the truth when you have the truth that you have given to us here. So, what is your explanation on the accounts that are showing negative? Are you the docs questions as well?
Let me start with the docs question. On the 5 balls, I think the 94,000 which is reflecting there, I think it should be, Chair, we are sorry, it should be a mistake because we haven't got any variations on balls. So there, I apologize, it must be a mistake because we don't have that one.
CS. Who brought this report? Who wrote this report?
I agree, that's why I'm apologizing.
No. You can't apologize. You had the time even to go to Charimbana to go through this. This is not a typo error. It's not an error. This is what is being depicted of your management of projects. He has given you 40 projects that you have committed. He has just given you one example. We read these things. You wrote this, you know. And this, if the auditors go there, Chair, they will find that you overspent 94,000 kwacha. Where did you get the authority? Where did you get this money? Is it from 2023? Where are the minutes and the resolutions and the approvals from the ministry for you to overspend, to spend more on the balls? Just one example. Now you are telling us, no, this one, it is by mistake. Who made that mistake? You submitted, we are following what you submitted. I wanted to clarify that.
Thank you very much. Council Secretary, from what we are getting here, we are getting very uncoordinated responses from you, at times going against what is on your report. Not only on this issue, but many issues that we have interrogated here. That you are trying at all costs to give us the impression that things are not as they are appearing on your report, the report that you submitted yourselves. If we wanted the oral submission, we would have called you on phone. But we wanted to interrogate the report together with you, because you sent this written submission. If there were those changes or amendments that were supposed to be made towards, on this report, that would have been done when you interacted with the auditors. That would have been done when you were at Charimbana. They were not going to appear here. That's why we are very reluctant. If not, we don't actually accept oral submissions. Because to us, it's like you want to mislead the committee. You submit something else, you want to say something else. You want to submit here that in the account, actually, the unspent amount, there is 0. But you want actually orally to submit that, no, it doesn't mean that we don't have the money. So which one are we supposed to follow? It's quite misleading. We want to end here, but we want to say we are not happy with your report. The report is not reflecting what is on the ground. The contractor is able to carry the materials and be able to work, and you can only go there and inspect when somebody has roofed the structure, and you are arranging that because of the floods when the contractor is able to reach the site. That doesn't, correlate. So we feel you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing. Today you have told us that at that time we didn't have the director engineering, which we believe now you have, and we know that you are appearing before this committee next month on operations, and that's where we have a lot of issues, and that's where we expect the auditors to have done the due diligence. We will not accept another recommendation from outside what is accepted by this committee, the accounting committee. We want you, Council Secretary, to take charge and put your house in order, even as you work as a team in Congo. We thank you for making the appearance before this committee, and we can only wish you well as you travel back. At this time, let me withdraw the immunity that was conferred on you, and allow you to travel back to Sikongo. Thank you very much. You are free to leave.
On our constituency, we profile one of the most prominent constituencies in the country, Munali constituency, located in Lusaka province, covering the northeastern section of Lusaka. It is approximately 6 kilometers from the capital central business district. Munali was delimited into a constituency in 1964, and since then the population of the constituency has grown to over 170,000. The constituency houses the highest learning institution in the country, that's the University of Zambia. Munali has a teaching hospital named after 3rd Republican President Dr. Levi Patrick Manawasa, and the only college that offers psychiatric courses, and this is the Chainama College of Health Sciences. Munali constituency also houses various shopping malls. The constituency has had a total of 8 members of parliament. These include Mr. Mainza Chona, who served in 1973, Mr. Rupia Banda, who served from 1978 to 1983, Mr. Simeon Kampata from 1983 to 1988, Mr. Ronald Penza 1991 to 1996, Ms. Edith Nawakwi from 1996 to 2006, Ms. Mombi Piri from 2006 to 2011, Professor Nkandluo from 2011 to 2021, and the current Member of Parliament for Munali constituency is Honorable Mike Mposha. This is the Munali constituency office, situated off the Great East Road. The office facilitates a smooth coordination of the constituency activities. The office gives an opportunity for the people of Munali to interact with their Member of Parliament on issues affecting them.
So I'm calling upon them to work with me and also to utilize the constituency office, which is allocated in Chainama, which is rather located in Chainama area around the Stariro, just opposite the Stariro shopping complex. Let them utilize the constituency office. Go in there. I have my professional assistant there and my team there. Even when I'm here at the ministerial office, the office is open and for them to engage me. And I'm locally based in the constituency, so they must feel free to either contact me directly on the many challenges or also utilize the office which the National Assembly has provided for us. And we must thank our institution, the National Assembly, for ensuring that like in the past, when members of parliament had to be followed, to the chambers. Now we have offices, and we have the members of staff who are doing a great job to ensure that there's continuous interaction between the electorates and us, the elected representatives of the people.
Munali Member of Parliament, Mr. Mike Mposha, now highlights the challenges the constituency is currently facing.
For a long time, this constituency, if for lack of a better way, didn't have so much attention in terms of attending to these challenges. So we have, for example, schools, a number of schools, like I said, but with the very limited school places, and this also contributed to a number of our youths, being found to be dropouts because they could not find spaces in these schools. And now with the newly introduced free education policy under the New Dawn government, our New Dawn government, we have a lot of pressure in trying to get school places for the people around Munali constituency and those coming from slightly outside the Munali constituency. Another problem is the poor road network. You may wish to know also that quite a number of settlements in Munali constituency were unplanned settlements. We have great talent in Munali constituency, but I must say that the sports infrastructure is extremely dilapidated. It's non-existent. So that is another challenge. We also have the high levels of unemployment among the youths, most of whom have turned into bad vices of abusing alcohol, abusing drugs. You've heard this term of gangs like fluffies, junkies, because of one, high levels of unemployment, but also peer pressure, where people just go out there and begin to indulge themselves in illicit drugs, abuse alcohol. The issue of also clean and safe water in the constituency is still a huge challenge. Quite a significant number of our electorates, our residents in Munali constituency, have no access to clean water. This is another challenge, and also land for future developments. For example, the population is still growing, and we need to build more schools. We need to expand on learning facilities, health facilities. But in Munali constituency, we've exhausted the land for such expansions. So these and many more are challenges that affect our people in Munali constituency.
The Member of Parliament is determined to change the lives of the people of Munali for the better.
We are already planning. I think this year alone we want to concentrate on ensuring that we support fully the free education policy by ensuring that one, most of the schools are assisted with ensuring that we expand the capacity, the infrastructure capacity, so that we can accommodate more pupils in the schools, and with the increased constituency development fund allocation from 1.6 million starting from this year to 25.7 million kwacha per year per constituency. Our focus there will be to support the free education policy by ensuring that most of the schools are assisted. We also want to concentrate much on connectivity, road connectivity in the constituency. So we want to pump in a lot of resources, the CDF resources, in ensuring that we work on the roads. By the time my term of office will be finishing in 2026, I want to see to it that each and every ward we've worked and improved on the recreation facilities, on the road network. We also want to work on the problem of unemployment, which I alluded to earlier. Through CDF, when we say we're going to procure desks, we want to identify cooperatives, we want to identify young people who are in the business of carpentry and also welding, who can work on, who can manufacture, the desks and supply to these schools, so that the money which the government is giving us, allocating to the constituency, can evolve around job creation in the constituency. We also want to ensure that we provide piped water to the areas where they have no water. And we want also to deal with the issues of sanitation. We need to migrate a lot of people who are using pit latrines to migrate to flushable toilets, particularly in Mtendere East.
Honorable Mposha assures the people of Munali of better things to come.
I want to assure them that under my leadership there will be accountability. I want to ensure that all resources attached to Munali constituency, there will be accountability, and they can count on me that there will be no pen which will go unaccounted for. I want to appeal to the people of Munali constituency again that let's work together in planning, in executing these plans. They'll be seeing more of me going out through the churches to speak to the many issues we are planning in the constituency, and I want their input, because everything I'm trying to resolve in Munali constituency is meant to help our people in all the 6 wards.
Mr. Joe Kaluba, who is the professional assistant at Munali constituency office, now talks about his role.
My role as a professional assistant for Munali constituency is, the first one is we are front line for the member of staff. For the member of parliament rather. So we are front line. So my role includes one, representing the member of parliament when the member of parliament is not there. Then running the office on behalf of the Honorable Member of Parliament. My other role includes coordinating activities for the Member of Parliament, meaning that I have to have on my fingertips all the stakeholders that we have in the constituency and those that we are working with in the constituency. So I just to add on that, I have to make sure that they are up to date with the information about the Member of Parliament. If the Member of Parliament is needed for a meeting somewhere, I have to make sure I go as an advanced party to make sure that everything is in place, also to coordinate the time that is coming, the time that is going. When the Member of Parliament is in the constituency, I have to accompany the Member of Parliament wherever he goes, so that I take notes of what is happening, because at the end of the day I have to follow up the things that people maybe want, or maybe the activities that are needed to be followed up. My other role is also to supervise the staff at the office and to make sure that we are in line with the Code of Conduct of National Assembly, and of course promoting and encouraging people to visit this office. This is a non-partisan office. So if you have looked at the history of Munali, a number of political parties have, the UNIP was there here, and also MMD, FDD, PF, and now we have the United Party for National Development. Honorable Mposha is representing that party. So this office is a non-partisan. National Assembly in its own is a non-partisan. So when you enter National Assembly and this office, you don't put on the the party regalia. That is number one. And this, as an office also, I forgot to add this, we also give guidance to members of parliament in all the offices, in constituency offices, to give guidance that no party regalia in their office. So anyone can come, they can come at any time as long as it is working hours.
Since the introduction of constituency offices across the country, the officers have acted as a bridge between constituents and members of parliament. Therefore, members of parliament have a constitutional duty to interact with the public and assist the public with access to basic services.
It's time for us to really thank God, first of all, our Creator, who has guided us in this wonderful way. It's time for us to look across the nation and see how different people from different types have stood together. They have stood together, children of one Creator, God our Creator. 1964, up to now, we're one Zambia, one nation. We're strong. We're standing together. There's no reason for us to begin pointing fingers, I'm this tribe, I'm that tribe. No. We are all God's children. God's children. Following His teaching. As we become a Christian nation, we're following what Christ taught. We are all one.
My eParliament mobile application. First, download the app on either Play Store or App Store and install. After installation, open the app.
Step 1. Register your personal information, that's your names, gender, NRC, and date of birth. Step 2. Add your contact information, your email, phone number, and home address. Step 3. Select your constituency. Step 4. Create your 4-digit PIN. At this point, the system will send an SMS to your mobile number with a one-time passcode. Step 5. Confirm with one-time passcode that was sent to your mobile. Step 6. Sign in using your phone number and the 4-digit PIN. And Step 7. Create your submission and submit. My e-Parliament, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Beauty is the sun as it rises in the east. The first to see the light is the great Kilimanjaro. Beauty is the vast land they call Sahara. As the sun sets in the west, it turns into gold. Beauty is the love of our forefathers who fought for this land we call our home. Which is why today we can celebrate freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Ooh, yeah. Beauty is the face of the African child, because in it hope for Africa's future lives. Beauty is our hearts if we keep this hope alive. Let's protect and nurture this future generation. Beauty is the struggle of our ancestors whose sweat gave birth to sweet freedom. That is why today we can celebrate freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Oh yeah, oh, the African child is everyone's child. The African mother is everyone's mother. The African brother is everyone's brother. The African father is everyone's father. The African sister is everyone's sister. The African child, yeah, yeah, yeah. The African mother, whoa, whoa. The African father, yeah. Ah, let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Freedom, freedom. Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Aha! Let's celebrate our land. Oh yeah, oh, eh. Oh yeah, oh, eh, yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Ziko.
Tunatiaka kita, we're looking as a day change. mukwezi wakutala chinga utiangani tikwilu the Zambian dreams bashidani kane nateni chika chaku bawande waiya president so tumulisupu
Welcome to your committee on local government accounts. We'll do introductions, starting with Auditor General.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Major John, Acting Director in the Office of the Auditor General, Western Province, standing in for the Auditor General. Thank you, Chair.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. In Shangombo Town Council, you are welcome. My name is Handongwe Donfrey, Principal Auditor from Western Province.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Matthew Skatulwende from the Office of the Controller of Internal Audit. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members of Parliament. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Oscar Nyarenda from the Office of the Accountant General, Ministry of Finance and National Planning.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and honorable members of Parliament. Shangombo, you are welcome. I'm Edwin Sirwimba from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Elvis Chipoka from the Parliamentary Budget Office.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Stanley Kalala from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Mulenga Bright from the Office of the Clerk.
Good morning, CS and your team. My name is Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk.
Let me invite you now, Council Secretary, to introduce yourself and allow your colleagues to do the same. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Exuda Kavutu, Council Secretary, Shangombo Town Council. I'll invite my team to introduce themselves.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Edward Banda, Director Works, Shangombo Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Chilala Balo, District Planning Officer, Shangombo Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Abishai Milaojongo, the Council Treasurer.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Mununga Shamba. I'm the Internal Auditor for Shangombo Town Council. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of Parliament. My name is Angoma Namoya, Procurement Officer, Shangombo Town Council.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable Singombe.
Chair, I'm grateful. Good morning, Shangombo Town Council. My name is Singombe Edgar, representing the people of Dundumwezi in Kalomo Southern Province. You are welcome to your committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning, Shangombo, and welcome to this committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo, Member of Parliament from Mfumbwe constituency in Northwestern Province. Thank you.
Honorable Mwene, or Honorable Nyambose, sir. Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you, Chair, once again. Good morning, Shangombo, and welcome. My name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose, representing the special people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province, and a member of this committee. Thank you once again.
Good morning, everyone. Shangombo Town Council, welcome to Lusaka District, and especially Mandevu constituency, where I represent the good people of Mandevu. My name is Christopher Shakafuso. I'm a member of the committee. Thank you.
Morning, Chair. Morning, everyone, especially Shangombo and our viewers and our listeners. This is Luhamba Mwene, Member of Parliament for Mangango Constituency in Western Province, Kaoma District. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice Chair, before Vice Chair Mitete, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Good morning once again. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. Our visiting council, you are most welcome. Our permanent representatives, our witnesses, you are most welcome. My name is Honorable Kampamba Mlenga. I am Member of Parliament for the good people of Kalurushi on the Copperbelt Province. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much. Witness, my name is Mulunda Darius, a Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency, and the chairperson for the committee appearing before this morning, the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, witness, members of Parliament enjoy the immunity in the House, that whatever they say will not be used against them, and the same immunity is extended to you when you appear before any parliamentary committee, that whatever you say will not be used against you during our interaction, and unless you choose to mislead this committee, misinform this committee. However, I've no doubt in my mind that you wouldn't do that, and that you're going to give us factual information this morning, the information that we'll use to generate a very good report, the report that we'll then submit before Honorable Madam Speaker. With that said, now I want to invite you, Council Secretary, to make your submission before this committee with further guidance that you are going to highlight the query, then you go to the management response, of course, then you go to the action that you have taken as management, and lastly, the remedy that you are offering. In that fashion, you may proceed, Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. The first one is wasteful use of disaster contingents, repair of police van and an ambulance. In management response, the cause of query, management acknowledges the auditor's findings. The over-expenditure was spent from administrative component towards the logistics for the driver to enable him travel to Lusaka to collect the vehicle. The police vehicle was repaired and was operational for a period of 6 months. Subsequent costs with regards to maintenance is the responsibility of the Zambia Police Service. And action taken, in the official handover letter, the council indicated to the police, to the Zambia Police Service, that subsequent maintenance and repair costs would be borne by the Zambia Police Service. Further, the hospital ambulance was returned to the district after sourcing for funds to cater for transportation. Management has since committed some funds through the Constituency Development Fund to procure a new ambulance. Appendices are attached. Remedial measures. The Council will continue to engage line ministries and the Government Control of Transport on the importance of periodic maintenance of vehicles. The next one, completion of 1x3 classroom block at Makuluvia Primary School. Management response and the cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. There was a delay in implementation due to challenges faced when delivering materials to the site during the rain season from December 2022 to February 2023, as it was difficult to access the site. The contract was suspended for a period of 120 days to allow the flood waters to dry up and the works to resume in the dry season when the plains are not flooded. Action taken, management wishes to report that works commenced in June 2023, and the contractor has reached an advanced stage as per scope of works. The appendices are attached. Then remedial measures, management has resolved to ensure that works commenced during the time when flood-prone areas are accessible and that works are completed within schedule. Further consideration will be made for far-flung areas to have longer contract periods in consultation with the Zambia Public Procurement Authority. The third one, completion of 1x3 classroom block at Mawelea Community School. The management response and cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. There was a delay in implementation due to challenges faced when delivering materials to the site during the rain season from December 2022 to February 2023, as it was difficult to access the site. The contract was suspended for a period of 120 days to allow the flood waters to dry up and the works to resume in the dry season when the floods are not flooded. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the works commenced in June 2023 and the contractor has reached an advanced stage as per scope of works. The appendices have been attached. And remedial measures, management to ensure that consideration is made for far-flung areas to have longer contract periods in consultation with ZPPA. The next one, lack of acquittal distribution sheets for corrugated roofing sheets. Management response, the cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings. The iron sheets and ridges were issued to DEB's office for further distribution to beneficiary schools. At the time of audit, the acquittal sheet was still with the DEB's office, who also had given responsibility to zonal heads to handle the acquittal. As a result, they could not be made available at the time of audit. Action taken. Following the compilation of the acquittals from the zonal heads, management has since retrieved a copy of the acquittal sheet from DEB's office on which the beneficiaries signed. Remedial measures, management to ensure that feedback mechanism is in place to avoid lapses between partner institutions and all necessary documents are attached and secured on time. The next one, youth, women and community empowerment. Empowerment grants failure to implement projects. Management response and the cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings. The beneficiaries of the funds could not withdraw the funds on time due to the long distance to the bank, which is located in Senanga, and lack of transport. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the beneficiaries were engaged and the monitoring exercise conducted after the audit reviewed that the funds were withdrawn and implementation has since commenced. Remedial measures. Enhanced engagement with the bank to introduce mobile banking services and internet banking to beneficiaries is being facilitated. Next, sponsorship of overage students. Management response and the cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings. Management was alerted by the institution that there were students who were not on the approved list who had reported. A head count was conducted by the internal auditor, which reviewed that there were overage students who replaced the eligible students without engaging the council. Action taken. Management wishes to inform the committee that we had engaged the learning institutions to withdraw the students from active learning after the head count. Further communication was also done to recover the outstanding amounts, and the institution opted to offset the balance by carrying over the funds to the following academic year for eligible students. Remedial measures, strengthening of feedback mechanism with skills training institutions and increased sensitization on the community. cross-cutting audit findings, management response, and the cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to indicate that the funding of 2 million was meant for the procurement of the CDF monitoring Land Cruiser valued at 1.2 million and the police Land Cruiser in the sum of 800,000 deducted at source by the ministry. 26,828 interest earned on the revolving fund account Wallace 1,685,915 was funds brought forward from previous years. Management had spent 9,003,994 as its 31st December 2022. Action taken. Management wishes to report that as of 31st December 2023, amounts totaling 23,838,346.48 ingwe were spent, leaving a variance of 1,901,565 and 27 ingwe, which is committed to running projects and withheld retention as tabulated below. There's a table below, and under community projects, the budget was...
Skip that. You can skip that table.
Thank you, Chair. Remedial measures, enhanced engagement with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on policy direction. The failure to spend. There's a table also. And management response and cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation on uncompleted planned 17 projects and one unimplemented project, procurement of police vehicle. This was due to the long procurement procedure of accessing clearance from Ministry of Finance and Attorney General. In addition, there was delay in release of CDF to our account. Further, funds that were received were committed to the running projects at the time, and management could not commence implementation or procurement proceedings of other projects until additional funding was received. Action taken. Management wishes to report that as of 31st December 2023, amounts totaling 15,347,482.93 were spent, leaving a balance of 1,634,267.09 committed to running projects. A total of 14 projects have since been completed and handed over. Further, the implemented police vehicle has since been delivered to the district and has been handed over to the Zambia Police Service. However, 3 projects are in completion stage. There is equally a table there. And remedial measures. With the delegated functions in the procurement process, the Council will ensure that projects are implemented within schedule with adequate funding. Further, management will utilize the available funds to spend on outstanding projects with utmost needs as per guidance. 8. Failure to disperse soft loans. And management response and cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and would like to indicate that the total of 1,704,500 was dispersed to the first batch of loan beneficiaries against the approved allocation, leaving a balance of 1,229,850, which could not be dispersed due to the process of vetting and feedback from the bank, which delayed. Action taken. Management wishes to report to the committee that following the receipt of the reports from the bank, management instructed Zanaco Bank to disburse funds to the remaining beneficiaries. As of 31st December 2023, all outstanding empowerment loans for the year 2022 were disbursed to beneficiaries as tabulated below the table that is indicated. Then remedial measures, enhance engagement with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on policy direction. Bursary, secondary school and skills development and spent grants. Management response and cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and wishes to bring to the attention of the committee that this component generally has a low uptake by the eligible youths. The district does not have a boarding school. As a result, very few learners are able to go to the boarding schools outside the district. Action taken. Management wishes to report that as of December 2023, we spent a total of 2,163,704 kwacha, and a total amount of 2,310,000 was varied to community projects, leaving a balance of 416,817 kwacha and spent on skills development component, which will be considered for variation to community projects. Below is the expenditure summary. Remedial measures, enhance community sensitization of the general public on bursaries for secondary schools and skills development. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any question, Honorable Mwene?
Thank you so much, Chair. Yes, I'd like to lead you to page 4. On the incomplete classroom at Malewea Primary School. There's a narration here that you have been ferrying materials and so on and so forth. Is it okay that CS you can just kindly give it to your committee a synopsis of this particular project, Mawelea Primary School? I submit, sir.
Council Secretary. Sir, can you kindly switch off that mic? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. May I be allowed to invite the Director of Works?
Please, Director of Works.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mawelea, it's a project for 1x3 classroom block. In 2021, it was funded. It was given, I think, it was given 80,000.
Just pull the mic towards you.
Okay.
You are live both on radio and TV, so
thank you.
If you're a little bit further, you can't pick.
Okay. So in 2021, there was a funding for this project. That's when it commenced. So the funding was 100,000. So we just did a syllab. In 2022, money was allocated, and then this project, it was being implemented.
You're still low, eh?
I'm still low. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Pull the mic again down.
Sure.
Pull it down. Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. So this one, under 2022, they allocated funds about 475,000. So these funds were used on this project. And as at now, this project has been roofed, and then there are just some few works to be completed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just needed this particular synopsis because I'm seeing the council buying materials and so on, taking to the site, as opposed to giving a contractor to do this job. What motivated you to, as a council, to be buying materials for this particular project? And did you realize any profits on the side of government when you, as a council, took on the procurement of all the materials and transporting them to the site? I submit, Chair.
Honorable Singombe, the same one.
Yeah, so, Chair, it's a general question. CS, when I was reading this somewhere where you talked about delayed implementation of projects due to inaccessibility, and you indicated that there are floods. Now, Chair, my question is, how do children access such places in the rain season? Is it an issue of inaccessibility due to maybe loaded trucks transferring materials, or the entire place is inaccessible to an extent that even children do not get to such schools in the rain season?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. The school itself is located in the plains, so there are nearby villages where those children come and they're able to access the area. But for ferrying of materials from, let's say, the Boma to the same school, that is where the challenge is. Thank you, Chair.
Just.
Honorable Nyambose and Honorable Mwin.
Thank you, Chair. I will start with this question, Council Secretary and your team. I want to find out first the status of this school. Is it complete now? Then I'll ask the subsequent questions.
Yes, Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. The school is not yet complete.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want us to put our eyes on this particular school and the report. I'll start from page 3, Chair. Just as Honorable Mwene had indicated, this is a 1x3 classroom. Materials, Chair, worth 377,000 were procured. And I believe that such materials included cement and other perishables. And I want this committee, this council to confirm 377,000 in 2022. We are looking at 2022, 2023, this is 2024. And this school, Mawerea, is not complete. And the works, outstanding, Chair, are highlighted. A contractor was paid 83,000 kwacha. Council Secretary, do you confirm, or can you confirm to this committee, that the materials worth 377,000 are still there and they are still in usable condition? Or the opposite is what has happened? What has happened to all these materials with 377,000 and this particular project is not complete? What is the contractor doing? And is the contractor still the same or was terminated to give another person? Chair, I submit on this one.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. May I request Director Wicks to come in?
Director Wicks. Switch on your mic.
Thank you very much, Chair. So the materials which were procured under this project are what were used. As you can see on the photo, it's at roof level. The plastering was also done inside. So the materials were the 377,000 they were used on the project.
Please go ahead.
you had budgeted 377,000 to complete this project, which has not been completed, meaning that this project, the money that were allocated were exhausted, yes or no? If they were exhausted, how did you underestimate? And what plans do you have? Your mic should be off. Okay. What plans have you procured or have you sought authority for a variation or a top-up to this project so that it can be completed for the people of Mawere to get the service that they've been craving for all these years? Council Secretary.
Yes. Addition on this, please do.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to be clear on this project. Was it a labor-based project or it was a full contract? And if it was a full contract, I see you people buying materials. Maybe I'll go back to the question posed by my colleague, Honorable Mwene. What motivated you to buy materials if this was a full contract a project?
You can take those two, then Honorable Mwene will come in.
Thank you, Chair. May I be allowed again to invite Director Wicks?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. This project, just like I indicated from 2021, it was a labor-based project. And under labor-based, there was that contractor who continued up to now to construct the project. In addition to that, this one, it was allocated 475. It was a phased project to be done up to roof level and plastering, flooring. So what is there is that as of 2024, since we knew that this was a phased project, we sought authority so that additional funds can be added so that the external works, painting works are completed. And that authority has come out, and we've actually started implementing this project under 2024.
Honorable Mwene.
Thank you so much. You're talking about seeking authority. I would just like you to provide your correspondences about this authority you seeked for this project to be completed. You know, I'm very much interested in this because it has really stayed a long period of time for it to be completed. The people of Mawalela are being denied this particular service. Apart from that, Chair, apart from you providing the evidence to your getting of permission to do what you thought of doing, yes, I wanted to ask you, CS, go on your remedial measure on page 5. On your remedial measure, CS, you are saying management will ensure that consideration is made for the for far-flung areas to have longer contract periods in consultation with the ZPPA. CS, surely, are you saying this to be a good measure? Even if they are far-flung areas, don't you think of other measures like perhaps awarding contracts to contractors that are able to do an efficient job in the dry season, so that before the onset of rains, that particular contract is done, let's say, within 3 months. If someone is to start maybe in July, by October, November, the contractor is finished. You, that is when you are thinking of extending. I don't know how long we want to be extending these particular projects, whether to 3 years or 5 years, I don't know. Do you see that CS to be a very good measure, as opposed to awarding contracts in the dry season, and make sure you award that particular contract to a good contractor that will be able to finish on time. I submit the 2 questions, Chair.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. And I would invite Director Wicks.
Director Wicks.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much. I think we've noted.
Yes, you may switch off your mic.
Yes, I think we've noted as management and the issue of giving long periods to contractors who are doing projects in a far-flung areas is the one which we are going to consider.
Okay, before they come in, when did you start this project?
This project, it was started like for 2022 allocation. This project was started in December.
When did you start this project?
2021. So in 2021 there was an allocation.
Just there.
Sure.
Just there. Yes, you started this project in 2021, and rightly so. You contracted this project for the completion of this particular project. Why didn't you allocate enough funds to complete it, since you are saying that it was phased and you had to seek for enough funds? In 2022, you had enough funds. Why didn't you allocate enough funds? Additional from Honorable Singombe and Honorable Nyambose.
Thank you, Chair. Director, while you are demonstrating the authority for my colleague, Honorable Mwene, you are saying that the project started in 2021. Chair, when you go to page 9, there is failure to spend there. There's a diagram. Number of projects brought forward, 2021, 2022, 0. So help me reconcile on that one. Here you are indicating it's a 2021 project,
on page 9.
But here you are indicating projects brought forward, none. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Nyambose.
Chair, actually, I'll pick it up from where you ended. Chair, I want to find out from the council team, at which stage was this project when you were allocating 458,000? Because you say it's a completion. At which stage, what was the status of this project when you were asking for 458,000 in 2022, which has failed to complete it? And further, second question, how much do you envisage to top up to complete this project? And what will be the total cost of this Mawerea if you are going to seek for additional funds? Chair, I wanted to also to ask the council secretary, when did you go to this council?
Yes, you may pick that one and ask your Director Works to assist you with the other questions.
Thank you, Chair. I went to Shangombo Town Council on 11th April 2023. I would wish to invite the Director Works to come in for the rest of the questions.
Director Works.
Okay, thank you very much. Answering to that question, in 2022 there was 475 which was allocated. So the total cost for this one is supposed to be somewhere 680,000. So the amount which has been approved by the ministry, it's a top up of 100,000. So that 100,000 will ensure that the external works and painting are done. At this stage, there was also another question to say that the funds for 2022, at which stage were they working? So in 2021, we just did a syllab. So the 400, it was from syllab level until roofing materials, plastering. So from 2022, we started the project from syllab level, in short. until this stage you are seeing now.
Is a question from Honorable Singombe.
And then the question from Honorable Singombe, the allocation for 2021, it was the 80,000 which was depleted for the syllab. So that's why the amounts, I think it's indicating 00 because there was no funds carried forward to 2022 from 2021 accounts.
Chair, sorry, here it's talking about number of projects, not funds.
Or number of projects.
Number of projects brought forward 2021 to 2022.
0.
Here it's indicating.
Are you there
0.
on page 9?
So this is why I'm asking you to help me
get to page 9.
Understand, because you had a project that you funded 80,000, and to that effect you are saying that 80,000 was
Switch off your mic, Director Wex.
allocated, and out of that 80,000 you only did the slab. Then 2022 you allocated about 400,000. So my question is, why are you indicating 0 as projects brought forward from 2021 to 2022?
Please.
Chair, for the indulgence. Director, when you look on page 5, Chair, page 4, the first paragraph, with your permission, I want to read, and I want the team to follow me. The scope of works, this 400, Chair, the 458, I've added 98 plus 375. I've made 458, the total. This was the money allocated, Chair, to this Mawerea project with a view of commissioning it, completing it. And I'll read, Director. That the scope
just
of works...
a correction, the total allocated is 475.
475, yes.
Yes.
475, yeah. Thanks for the arithmetics. 475. This 475 was to complete it. Why do I say so? The scope of works to this contractor says it included construction of superstructure, meaning that the substructure was done, reinforcing the ring beam, fixing lipped channels and roofing, plastering internally and externally, glazing, metalworks and carpentry, painting internally and externally, and construction of a concrete drainage apron, meaning that this time everything was supposed to have been done and you got materials using the money. Chair, my question is, you said that there were no perishables initially. I mean cement for plastering internally and externally and painting. Did you procure paint according to this scope of work that you have outlined and the monies that you asked? This was coming from a BOQ. Did that BOQ of 375,988 include the procurement of paint and other perishables which we cannot see on the project? I submit, Chair.
So before you come in, you are reminded that you are under Cap 12. Do not mislead the committee. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. May I invite Director Wex?
Director Wex.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think we need to clarify that this project was underestimated. The amount which was allocated was not enough. So even paint, we haven't even bought the paint.
Could it be true? Could it be true that you delayed to implement this project, and therefore, because of the delay,
yes,
the cost of things has gone up, and this is why you varied?
Correct, Chair. Because of that suspension, because there were floods, we were not implementing.
There's a question from Honorable Singombe. On page 9,
yes,
you are telling us that you didn't have any carried over projects.
Honorable Chair, we've actually noted the mistake, who corrected. So we were supposed to indicate that there was a project carried forward. We've noted that one. We'll do the correction.
I hope you've taken note, honorable members.
We apologize.
The 475 was actually enough to complete this project, but due to the delay by our officers, you want to understand? Okay, please, honorable Moy.
Thank
Then
you so much,
to other questions.
Director Wex, you know, whenever you have been asked a question, you answer it as it is. If you remember very well, all these questions are emanating from your responses. That's why at the beginning I asked you, can you give a synopsis of this particular structure? You left out some other details, and as such, that's why other questions have been able to follow you up. But maybe just technically, as a technical director of works, why did you decide to neglect the quick completion of this particular structure? I submit, sir.
As you answer that, you can withdraw the earlier statement that it was phased, and the other phase, this is when you are asked for additional money.
We withdraw that statement.
You can answer Honorable Mwene's question.
Maybe I'll just miss the point. Maybe you can
Honorable Mwene.
I asked director, but why did you deliberately decide to take a route that would not complete this particular structure on time? Because you are a technocrat and you have been in that particular area, and you know what can be done to this particular structure for it to finish on time. And when this particular structure is supposed to be done, you know that. Why did you deliberately decide to take a longer route, costing from 2021, 22, 23, we are now in 2024. 4 years, this particular structure is not yet completed. Why did you deliberately decide to take that wrong route? I submit, Chair.
Yes, so do you want to take that?
Thank you, Chair. I'll still direct it to Director Wex.
Director Wex.
Sure. I think what I can say is that, you know, experience is the best teacher. So we've also learned how much we can spend to such far places, because the 475 really, it was really undercosted. It was really under budgeted. A 1 by 3 classroom block, it should have at least 750, 800,000 kwacha. So that's the reason why you find that some scopes which are remaining now, the few scopes which are remaining, we haven't done because
Director Wex, I thought we said that that money was enough at the time, but due to the delay, this is why we couldn't complete these works in that amount.
Sure, the delay also is a cost, because even the dollar increases, so you find that even the prices of commodities, they go.
Of course, and this is why we want you officers to be finishing projects on time. Have you seen the hands, the way they are coming up?
Sure.
We will make progress. Honorable Kamondo, Honorable Nyambose, new questions?
Yes. No, Chair, it's a question that I think has not been answered. You posed a question, Chair, to the Director, that 2022, this is a project coming from 2021, and we agree. Now, 2022, we had an enhanced CDF, and the Chair also included 2023. Why didn't we finish this project? Even if it was a phased project, surely 2022, I thought what we're supposed to do is that you start with hanging projects. You finish before you start new projects. And you can see the children around this community have not been given an opportunity to learn in a conducive environment. Why didn't we budget enough? Yes, 2022 you said it was under budgeted. What about 2023? Why should it spill over to 2024? When 2022 we had an enhanced budget, 2023 again increased. Why should we drag on this, depriving our children of good learning environment?
Controlling Officer.
Thank you, Chair. I think the Director can take it up.
Yes, Director.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think the concern is really genuine. I will just give a scenario. For the 2022 projects, we had 29. And Mawelea we've completed, I think there are just 3 projects remaining. And that is Mawelea, Makuruwea, and the other project. So what we are saying is that really, we've noted that we haven't completed. It was really a mistake on our part to allocate 475,000 kwacha to this project.
Honorable Kamondo, and then Honorable Nyambose. Let us make progress. He has regretted, and he's saying it was a mistake. And I'd wanted the CS to take up that question because she's the supervisor. But I hope you've taken note of the concerns of the committee. Honorable Kamondo.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I seem not to understand on the specific audit finding waste of use of disaster contingents to repair a police van and an ambulance. Just a point of clarification. There are a few things that this committee may want to know. Number one, did the CDFC sit to make a recommendation that this amount of money, CDFC, that this amount of money, 225,000 kwacha, be used for the repair of the ambulance and the Nissan vehicle for police? That is number one question. If so, how much money, which component? Because according to the auditor's finding, this was waste of use of disaster contingents. Now, you have told us about the Nissan. You have not mentioned anything about the ambulance, whether it was also repaired or not. And also, you have not answered the auditor's query to show them where the money came from, except that you have admitted that the over expenditure came from administrative cost. Kindly avail to this committee what really happened and how did you use the contingents for disaster, and where did you get the money to pay the driver, so that at least it comes out to agree with what you are talking about here. How was that expenditure done? And was the ambulance also repaired? If it was repaired, what is the status of that ambulance?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. The 2 vehicles, we received a request from the 2 ministries, which is Home Affairs and the Police and the Health. So they came up with the letters requesting that the vehicles be worked on, and what they had indicated in the request, the committee had to sit and estimate the amount of monies that could go towards that. But when it was taken to the garage, what came out was more than what had been applied for, what they requested for. And for the ambulance, it could not even be worked on because in fact it was in a very bad state. So what came out was even much than the police vehicle as it was worked on. The police vehicle was worked on using a disaster component, and that's where the money came from. Then upon a request to work on the ambulance, we were advised that the the ambulance, we used the money from administrative component, which was too much, and it could mean that we could not proceed with other activities if the administrative component could go to the ambulance. So that's how the council decided that the vehicle should be brought back. Thank you, Chair.
A follow-up, Honorable Kamondo, then Honorable Nyambose.
Yes, my follow-up is you have informed this committee that there was a committee that sat and prevailed on this matter to give authority. Maybe before I ask the other question, which committee is this one?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I think let me invite the officers who are there. Maybe DPO can come in.
DPO.
Thank you very much, Chair. The CDFC sat to approve this project.
Honorable Kamondo.
Yes, that is actually the right procedure, indeed. However, I want to find out from you, do you have the minutes to that effect where the CDFC sat to make these recommendations actually to buy these spares to use on the Nissan Patrol?
Yes.
I wish to invite a DPO to come in. I'm sure they are there.
Chair, the minutes are not attached. However, we sought authority through the ministry to implement this project. Under minute number MLGRD 101/122/154.
Where are you reading from?
From page 1, Chair.
Page?
Page 1, the first sentence, the first paragraph.
Where is the letter in this report?
It's not attached in this report. However, it can still be availed to the committee.
You will need to give it to Secretariat. Yes, Honorable
Noted,
Nyambose.
Chair.
Thank you, Chair. On the same, Chair, the approval was done in 2022, 4th October. On 4th October 2022, the expenditure was approved to repair the two vehicles, one for the police and the other one, the ambulance. And I believe for this approval you had gotten quotations of the damages to the vehicles and what it would cost to put them on road. And the total cost, Chair, is 225,000. A year and some 20-something days, this council spent 233,329 on only one vehicle, which is for the police, with an excess payment of 8,329 above the approved amount. My first question, Chair, where is the authority to allow you to spend excess of 8,329 on one vehicle? The council secretary has indicated that this money came from administrative cost. Administrative, whatever, this is CDF money. Where is the authority, like my brother said, further to allow you to pay this? And you have said, finally, Chair, that the other vehicle, which is the ambulance, the cost of repair was far beyond that you could not repair it. And yet you had the authority, you had the permission to work on it. What is the next action? Because the ambulance is critical to the people of this area. Chair, I wanted to emphasize the dates, just as earlier you guided. They take long to act, and this raises the cost. If you look at 1 year after they were failing to make these expenditures, keeping the monies, even when they have the approvals, they would keep the monies in their council accounts without spending. when they had everything. Can you answer those questions that
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. On the expenditure, I think, may I invite the Council Treasurer to enlighten on the same.
Council
Then,
Treasurer.
Director Weeks will still come in together with the assistance of DPO to answer the rest of the questions. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. On the expenditure, the over expenditure, actually, on the when we are repairing the Nissan patrol for the police, we concentrated on the actual parts, those that we are being repaired on, and the issues of transportation. We thought probably these could fall well under administration, so that we just concentrate on the actual repair is approved. Thank you.
But in this case, you overspent and without authority, and that is the question there. How did you spend that money without authority when you only had the authority of 225?
Actually, Chair, from disaster on the actual repair of the vehicle, the total cost was is 224,978. As on some ledgers that they report down here. Then the other excess is depicted by the auditors. It was spent under the ledger for administration.
Is this the CDF money, or you used the council money?
No, the CDF admin component.
Yes, and to. Anyway, Honorable Nyambose, let me not ask. Let me ask my members to ask.
Treasurer, 225 was for the 2 vehicles. You overspent on 1 vehicle, the police vehicle, beyond, I don't know how much, over 100. What we are highlighting as 8,329 was beyond the total cost for the 2 vehicles to be repaired. But if you analyze, you get the quotations from whichever garage, you find that the expenditure for the Nissan, you overshoot by a huge amount. This is what you should bear in mind. What were these repairs that were beyond? What made you to overspend on 1 vehicle against what was quoted by the garage? You overspent all the monies on 1 vehicle. Did you do extra works which were not quoted? Or these were the works which were quoted initially by the garage? Then when you talk of admin, what? Disaster. This is CDF, Baba. Everything is CDF. The chair is asking you. When you say, did you use CDF or general fund from the council? You just say CDF. Don't say admin, it is CDF. So we want to know that why did you overspend on 1 vehicle and the hospital vehicle not worked on?
Additional.
Just to augment. Indeed, the amount of money here we are talking about, and our biggest concern is that at this particular time, this money was enough to repair how many vehicles? 2 vehicles. That is our understanding, unless maybe I don't get it right. If that was the case, and that is the reason why, Honorable Chairperson, we asked for the minutes where they said, what is it that they were paying for? And that's where the Honorable is saying, where were the quotations? Was this or was that quotation meant for 1 vehicle or for 2 vehicles? Because it had taken 1 year to do this exercise, even when the CDFC had recommended that these 2 vehicles be repaired. So the comfort that we want to know here, how much was supposed to be used on 1 vehicle, which is the Nissan, and the Land Cruiser, the ambulance. How much at that time, not at the time of spending?
Yes. And the auditor also, how did the auditor pass the payment? The over expenditure on 1 vehicle. What was the budget? Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Help us to understand these things.
I will still invite my officers to come in.
Which one now are you picking?
Thank you. PO can come in. Procurement Officer. Thank you, Chair.
Procurement Officer.
All right, thank you, Chair. So what happened is we had taken the Nissan to Imperial Motors, because Nissan, Imperial Motors are the authorized dealers that deal with Nissan. So when we took it there, they assessed, and the problems that they worked on were transmission and the suspension parts, and also replaced the tires. So on the issues of transmission, they had to replace the gearbox, it was worn out, and also the transfer assembly. They also had to replace the pressure plate, the whole gearbox was gone. Suspension, they had to actually do everything and also replace the tires. So I'm sure at a time when these people were making requests to say they want to repair these vehicles, they could have gotten maybe quotations from other garages. But as a professional procurement specialist, I thought of taking the Nissan to the company that has authorized the dealership, which is Nissan themselves. So the vehicle was worked on by Nissan.
They got quotations from other garages. In the meantime, Nissan is the authorized dealer. What are you telling the committee? What is the correct position?
So the correct position is that the vehicle was taken to Imperial Motors, worked on suspension.
How much was the quotation from Imperial dealers before you took the vehicle?
Well, at that particular time, we had not gotten the quotation because the Imperial Motors needed to physically inspect the vehicle.
You said they got quotations from other dealers. I'm just following you. Do you have the other quotations from other dealers?
No, Chair.
As procurement?
No, Chair, to be honest, I had gone for Imperial Motors, the suppliers of Nissan parts.
Yes, Honorable Nyambos.
Yeah, I think I'm getting shocked now. You wanted to procure a grader from Camco. You want to procure a grader from Saro. They give you quotations for the grader. Saro give you, for example, 2 million. Camco, they will give you 2.1. And you base your authority, you apply that we are going to buy from Camco, which has given us 2 million. And the approval by the ministry, by the CDF committee and the ministry, they approve a 2 million. But the procurement officer decides to go to borrow out and procure a grader at 5 million. This is what has happened. And the procurement, you have just said very well, a professional procurement officer. Is this prudent decision making or management where the quotations which have been approved, you ignore them? You go and get to pay someone else, and thereby taking the money which could have gone to the repair a Ministry of Health very sensitive and important vehicle, which is an ambulance, which has denied the people of that area. You go and single source and overshoot the budget. Council Secretary, was this a prudent decision? And where is the internal auditor who passed this payment, ignoring the area approved quotations? And those signatories, the treasurer and the council secretary, why did you pass this payment which was far beyond what was approved by the authorities, which is the ministry and the CDFC? Why did you make such a decision? I submit, Chair.
Yes, before I call upon you, Procurement Officer, so it is your submission that you procured the service of this Nissan without any amount in your purchase order?
Chair, the purchase order was raised.
How much was on the purchase order?
I can't recall exactly, but it should have been about 200 and something.
This is a Parliament, a Procurement Officer. Can you be serious? How much was the amount on your purchase order for the service of the Nissan?
It was I can recall, it's 216,000, because we bought tires as well from automotive equipment.
Do you have an assistant in the office right now?
No, she's on leave.
You don't want them to send us the copy?
She's on leave.
Because clearly you're misleading this committee. What you're submitting is not correct.
Chair, you note that maybe
Switch off your mic. Yeah. Yes.
Maybe on the area quotations did not include tires and other things. That's why the area quotations which were approved was to repair the 2 vehicles. But here is a decision made by the procurement without regard to authority and regulation. They go to say we are going to do this to a single vehicle. What motivated the procurement officer to go against the approvals? That is the question further. Tires, were they included? Thank you, Chair.
That is another extra question. The auditor, how much was the purchase order for the service of the Nissan?
Thank you very much, Chair. I think it was about 200 and something thousand kwacha. Thank you.
You are thinking, here you have to give us the correct, if you don't know, you say I don't know. Did you see this purchase order? Were you in the office?
Yes, I was in the office.
How much was it? And how much was the repair for the Nissan and the ambulance?
The approved amount was 225,000.
Yes, consisting of 2 repair components. How much was for the ambulance and how much was for the Nissan?
I think for the ambulance it was about 125,000.
Yes.
Then the Nissan was 100,000.
You think? I just want to correct the thinking. I wanted to submit correct information to the committee.
Okay. 125,000 for the ambulance.
Yes.
And 100,000 for the police motor vehicle.
100,000 for the Nissan.
Yes.
PO, have you read the submission by the auditor?
Yes, Chair, I've heard the submission.
Do you still want to submit to this committee that you raise the purchase order with 200,000?
Yes, after getting the assessment from Imperial Motors, for sure we raise the purchase order for that.
We have permission for 225. Honorable Nyambose, you can pick it up.
Yes, Chair, this time I want to ask the internal auditor. When you are doing a pre-audit, what are the issues that, particularly to this transaction, what did you base your authority, your clearance, when you knew for sure that this 225 was meant for the 2 vehicles? And here comes to your office an LPO for 1 vehicle, and that LPO, the supplier, was not the one which was approved. What comments did you pass on such a payment, owing that this was not the dealer that was approved? And if this was the new dealer that you thought was credible, did you have any competing quotations which this Imperial was beating for you to base your clearance? Further, the treasurer, I think maybe you were there, and other signatories, CS if you were there by the time this transaction was taking place. What was the basis of your approval and the payment, owing that you are departing from the usual? Were you professional auditor by passing this payment? I submit.
Auditor?
Thank you very much, Chair. Of course, I was professional because I checked for all the necessary documentation, of which the quotations and all the purchase orders and the purchase requisition notes were attached to the payment voucher. So a pre-audit was done and the necessary attachments were attached. Thank you.
So you were professional in allowing a payment that was over than what was authorized by the ministry? Auditor.
Thank you very much.
Before she answers, just another one.
Yes.
You were professional for ignoring the approved quotations, and you just based on one LPO which was not approved by the ministry and the CDF committee. You were a professional in that regard.
Yes, Auditor, it's similar with mine.
Thank you very much. I don't think I saw any other quotations apart from the one from Imperial Motors. So I only saw one quotation. And with regards to the approved amount, which was 225 by the CDF committee, that was done, I think a technocrat in that area was involved to come up with the amount, which was 225. I'm not specialized in that area to see that the amount of money was enough for the repair of the ambulance. And to add on, I think the assessed amount by the CDF committee was only based on one component. Then when the ambulance was taken for further assessment at the garage, the figure overshoot. Thank you very much.
What was the amount on the purchase order, the actual purchase order for the ambulance?
To be honest, I think it was 216,000.
You are supposed to be honest all the time.
Yes.
216.
Yes.
You have authority to repair these two vehicles at 225. You have a purchase order for how much Imperial Motors? 216. No. That is, the ambulance is not the same as the Nissan. How much was the Nissan, the actual purchase order?
Maybe Director Works can come through. I don't recall. I don't remember exactly what the figure was.
Before we go to Director Works,
Yes.
we still have questions for you, Internal
Chair,
Auditor. Honorable Kamondo, you come in after Honorable Nyambos.
Auditor, this is a very serious committee. We are sitting here to check whether we have the officers who can be entrusted with these resources on behalf of the Zambians. You area submitted when the chair asked you. How much was provided the LPO quotation for the ambulance? Chair, you asked the auditor. She's the one who gave us the figures of 125.
Yes,
And
125.
further she said, we are taking note, that the police Nissan was quoted at 100.
Yes.
Then she comes back to say that actually CDF committee did their assessment only on one component. They did not include the ambulance. I'm shocked. You gave us this and you have justified the total is 225. Then you are trying to mislead this committee. And the further, Chair, the auditor goes to say that she only saw one LPO for Imperial Motors costing 216, and that was the basis for her to pass the payment. My little basic accounting is that when I see it even as an auditor, I should check only the available quotations. If there are three, I'm satisfied. These are competing quotations, and we base on the lowest. And secondly, we look at the authority. Did this payment, has it got the CDF minutes approval? I'm satisfied. Then I'm going to ask, is this payment got the approval from the ministry? This is done. That's when I pass it. But she comfortably, as she's smiling, telling this committee that I just saw one quotation from Imperial and I passed it. and she says she's being professional. These resources are in wrong hands. If that is the case, Chairperson, is this being professional? You give us figures and then you are turning around. So, Chair, my concern, I follow the submissions as every member here, but we don't want to be misled. This was the wrong transaction that you did. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Kamondo.
I would like to move on, but I'll just make a comment on this one.
Yes.
My comment is that indeed we should be consistent in whatever we are doing. When you provide evidence here, let it be that evidence. If there is anything that is different from what we are, those amendments could have been made so that you make our job much more easier. My question now goes to, I think that I leave it to the chairman. My question goes to page 11. Page 11. Just one. First, it starts on page 10. Failure to disburse soft loans. I have, from what we have heard, actually the action taken and then management response, that they've managed to disburse all these loans. Even the balance that remained was already given out. However, I just wanted to find out from Shangombo. You earlier on stated that the vetting process was taking too long from the bank, and that is what could have delayed the other consignment to be disbursed. Now, I wanted to find out, number one, how many beneficiaries benefited from the first amount, which was 1,704,500 kwacha from that amount, and also the last one, what was the total number of beneficiaries? That's number one question. I want to ask all the questions. Then secondly, I also want to find out how much interest was earned from this revolving fund. And then, did you manage to finish the whole list of those that had applied? Or do you still have those that are waiting? Because I've seen that there's still a small balance which is remaining. And does it mean that there's no one else there's no one else who can benefit from the remaining amount? And also the last one, I'm sure you are taking note. This I give it to the treasurer. I think he will be able to answer very well. Did you get those questions? Yes. And then the last one may be, how often do you give actually the financial reports to the office of the Member of Parliament? Do you do, or if you do, how often actually do you let him know how much you are spending these monies? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll refer the two questions to the Council Treasurer on how much interest and how often we provide the financial reports, and for the beneficiaries, I'll refer that to the District Planning Officer. Thank you, Chair.
DPO, you want to start?
Yes, Chair, thank you. We had a total of 21 beneficiaries who benefited from the first disbursement. And by the end of the year, we had cleared all the applicants for the year 2022. The balance of the funds, the interest rather, that was realized was carried over to the following year to be disbursed to beneficiaries in the year 2023. I think the Treasurer will answer on how much interest was realized. I submit, Chair.
Yes, Treasurer. Thank you, Chair. I think the interest started accruing in June 2022 when we transferred the money meant for the loans to the revolving fund. And as of December 2023, we had in the account just the interest, a total of 177,991 kwacha 97 ngwe. Number 9.
Yes.
Then on the reports, whether we send to the MP, usually when we send the monthly reports to the ministry, we copy his email also. So, and we inform him.
You do send copies to the office of the Member of Parliament?
He gave us the email address. So okay, send.
You do send copies?
Yes.
Is that your submission?
Sure.
Honorable Kamondo, you want to?
No, I just wanted to. Is it your view, and you are speaking, that your Member of Parliament is aware that you have copied it, and he knows how much you have spent? Is that your correct position? Or maybe he may not have even checked his email and he doesn't know.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. On the matter whether he knows, I may not know, but we send and I communicate to him before I send. Then also in CDFC, we normally report the financials. And anyway, he's aware we send.
Yes, yes, yes.
The last one. On the capital project component, the main account, how much interest was earned? And what is the current status? Do you still have that money or you have remitted the else?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. May I invite the Council Treasurer?
Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. As Shangombo Town Council, our account does not earn interest for the main account.
Honorable Nyambose.
Chair, my question is on page 5.
Page 5. Before we go to page 5, I think the Treasury sent you a circular that you should negotiate with the banks so that the main CDF account is able to earn interest. Why haven't you implemented this?
Also, the repayment of the loan, no one has said whether
I'll give you a chance to ask that. Why haven't you implemented that? The main CDF account is supposed to earn interest, which you retire to Bank of Zambia. And unless you have use for it, for community projects, you are able to recall that money for use in the constituency. And the other account that is supposed to earn interest is the loan revolving account. Why haven't you engaged the bank so that Shangombo is able to earn interest, just like the other councils? Treasurer.
Thank you, Chair. I think we have not engaged the bank yet.
And my question is why?
We are part of government. I think the letter that I only remember, though I've not come across that one, the only one I remember is requesting for interest earned from CDF account or government accounts to be remitted to Treasury. If at all it's earning interest.
Yes, the ministry behind.
Yeah, maybe, Chair, let me make a clarification on the circular concerning the opening bank accounts with local authorities. I think this should go to all the councils throughout the country. There's a circular that was issued by Treasury. I think it should have been 2023, early 2023, where they were encouraging the local authority to ensure that they open accounts that will earn interest for both the CDF main account as well as the revolving account. For the revolving account, the usage is quite simple. All you need to do is that you declare that money to CDFC committee for them to know how much was earned in that particular revolving account. Then that money should be part of what you have and it should be disbursed to all the beneficiaries. Then for the main CDF main account, you need to declare the money, the interest earned or accrued in that particular financial year to Ministry of Finance using the accumulated account. So for the council, I think they need to engage the bank and ensure that the main CDF account should start accumulating interest. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Nyambose. Which one?
I also said, through you, Chair, that have the people started paying back? And if they've started paying, how is the paying back?
For the loans.
Is it progressive or maybe it's not progressive for the loans?
Take note of that. Honorable Nyambose, you can come in with your question. We'll be winding up on that and they'll be able to take yours.
Thank you, Chair. And as I ask my question, Treasurer, I passed a comment which was not in order. Seculars, adherence to instruction from the government is very critical. That's what mirrors your image as an officer. So these seculars are all over, as the Chair said. Why should Shangombo be doing the opposite as if you're not part of government? So take note, Council Secretary, take control. Make sure you manage this team. My question is page 5, Chair.
Yes, page 5.
The question is lack of acquittal or distribution sheets for corrugated iron sheets. Chair, a decision was made to procure 1,071 roofing sheets and 100 ridges to be distributed across the community schools in the wards in Shangombo to a total of 345,000 kwacha. And these materials, Chair, you will note that they were actually procured. But a physical inspection carried out in October 2023 revealed that although some schools received iron sheets and roofed temporary learning shelters, there was no acquittal sheets. There were no acquittal sheets to confirm how many corrugated roofing sheets and ridges were received by beneficiary schools. Chair, this is where the issue is. Instead of the council issuing GRNs and GINs with individual schools, they delivered these to the DEBs and issued one goods issue note or goods received note. The DEBs received the council and it is on Appendix 4. I want us to go to Appendix 4. Chair, you note on the Appendix 4, they went further. Upon realizing that this was a query, they went and they started now, they showed the distribution sheets with individual scores. And I want you, Chair, to take interest, committee, take interest on the Ministry of Education distribution for regions is the first one, this one. Now, I want us to look at the distribution of iron sheets to 30 schools in different wards. Chair, I will just sample one. They were signing, these were headmasters or teachers in particular schools. I will get an example. Same signature, number 1 up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A class teacher signing for how many schools? Different schools. Kambungu Community School, Sana Community School, Kapulanga Community School, Mufuma Community School, Mungomba Community School, and lastly, Nalimbwambwa Community School. One class teacher, council secretary, going around receiving iron sheets on behalf of different schools in different wards. What did you pick from this? Further, the same signature, another signature, chair, starting from where I ended there, for a class teacher by the name of Emily Monde, the one who was going around receiving. Then another study was signing. Study signed for schools 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then again there was another Stimela Namata, one school, then the other schools in different wards, 2 signatures. Chair, the question to the council secretary, the first question is, why didn't you issue the GRNs with different schools? You have got your planners, directors of works, and the procurement. Procurement is the one who is delivering and ensuring that these iron sheets, 1,071 iron sheets and 100 ridges, they reach out and they are received by respective schools. You just deliver to the DEBs, and the DEBs use this one teacher. The whole Lusaka here, chair, your constituency is Mandevu. A teacher from Mandevu goes to sign for Kawata, for Matero. Is it true? Is it correct? So when you look at these signatures, chair, they have just cooked this information, chair. It is not a correct one.
To present to the committee so that they are able to be seen that they are answering.
So, chair, as you do always,
what is your response?
The external auditors would help on this one.
Thank you, Chair. I think we've taken note of that as we go ahead to ensure that we deliver all the materials to respective schools and issue the required documentations. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, the last question as we end is, do you have the right team to deliver and implement CDF in your district? Are you equal to the task arising from the answers that your officers have been giving to this committee?
Thank you, Chair. I think I have the right team in place, though no one is 100% perfect. We err in one way or another, but I'm sure we are on the right track. Thank you, Chair.
Usually we thank councils when they appear, but it's hard to thank you for appearing, because for almost all the queries, there's no justification. Just speak on the last one. Instead of doing the correct thing, officers going or calling schools to come and collect the iron sheets, you give the DEBs, when it is your duty to make sure that you give all the schools, to make sure that all the schools benefit from these iron sheets. They are meant for our pupils. This was not done. There's a laissez-faire kind of attitude coming from Shangombo towards work. There's a disregard for laid down procedures, has been noted by the honorable members. The circular was released early February. I'm also aware of the circular, just like all the other honorable members, because we're members of the CDF committees. And so when we earn interest from the main CDF account, we've been able to even write the treasury to record the interest and apply the money in the constituency. And so you can see how you are depriving the people of Shangombo from extra resources because your officers do not want to work. You have noted, I think, from the first query, the projects are taking too long to be implemented, and as a result, the costs are going up. And this is an added cost to the government. The government has given you funds 2022, increased CDF fund. The officers are failing to do their part so that projects are finished on time. So CS, we want you to put your house on order. What we are getting here must come to an end. Auditor, you are not part of management. That's why you are independent. And you report to the CS only. When you see a red flag, you're supposed to raise it and report to your supervisor so that she takes corrective measures. But what I've seen is like you're conniving. And once the auditor and the other officers connive, this is why we're getting such reports. You're failing to reconcile what is approved, because you're the one who's supposed to check the authorities. You're supposed to ensure that all the procedures are followed before a payment is done. You're not doing your role. And here we are. It had to take the external auditors, yet you're in the office. It becomes easy when you raise a red flag and the external auditors come. You give them your notes. On this one, I picked this, I advised this. Then we'll task the town clerk why she didn't take corrective measure. But even you, it's very clear that you're not doing your role. So as you go back, CS, we want Shangombo to develop. In the past, I'm aware that if somebody had to be punished, they will send you to Shangombo. But we are receiving equal amounts. Here in Mandevu, the money you are getting for development, despite having more than 10 times the population, we are getting the same amount. And so you have no excuse to delay projects. You have no excuse not to ensure that you adhere to government regulations, to safeguard the money so that we provide the much needed development in Shangom. We want people to be running to come and work in Shangom, not as a form of punishment, but because we have equal resources going around in all the districts. So I'll thank you out of courtesy for appearing before the committee, but your report is very bad. So we wish you well as you go back, and we hereby take back our immunity.
Nowadays in the makonti rakiti chenzomba chikondi ndindala vamalabundi kulimba. Nowadays in the makonti rakiti obe chikondi ndimakwacha vamalabundi kulimba. Nowadays in the makonti rakiti obe chikondi. Konti obe chikondi hey, nowadays in the makonti rakiti obe. Zinga kufokese ndabisa mtima ndiwo bonga pweteke chikondi choera ndima chifuna kwa mandima peza chakuda ndima funa nkaza nga ndikondesese chipenge banja ndiga muvalike mpete chikondi chako chisatananza tundibanja sanga konjese Hey, koma ai sizimakara choncho. Hey, kapena ndikuchowa mwai ndingopeza nsado ndimibobo. Yeah. Wachiyamba nale kuti yakufuna penzi, wachiwiri na yakuti yakufuna renji, wachitatwa nata wati ndifula machenji, ne mwana wa mona bale ndivutikirenji. Chikondi, chikondi, nowadays ndima kontirakiti, oh baby. Chikondi, chikondi, hey, nowadays ndima kontirakiti, oh baby. Anyamara kunamitsa magero nao Capitão Vivero. Kodi di kupita kuti kulibe ali genuine. Loving you baby commitment. Konde chato chinga kale different. Ndikakupereke kumakoro akatidalise agogo. Hey, nifuna love yako sifuna chuma chako ndipase pure love. Chikondi chizakhala ndimphamvu. Ndifuna love yako sifuna chuma chako ndipase pure love. Chikondi chizakhala ndimphamvu. Chikondi, chikondi, nowadays ndima kontirakiti, oh baby. Chikondi, chikondi, hey, nowadays ndima kontirakiti, oh baby. Chikondi ndindala, vamala bundi kulimba. Nowadays ndima kontirakiti, oh baby. Hey, chikondi ndima kwacha, vamala bundi kulimba. Nowadays ndima kontirakiti, oh baby. Chenzo mbale. Hey.
My name is Malambo Mwemba. I was born in 1975. I was born in Wengwa of Southern Province in Monze. I went to school at Mahiva Primary School, and then from there I went to Chipepo High School. And having come back from Chipepo, I became a farmer at the farm that I still occupy up to now. And then from there, whilst being there, I went to India, did do my cotton cultivar production and value addition at South India Trade Institute, where I was doing the certificate in value addition of all cotton products. I'm married. I have 8 children. My constituency is situated 30 kilometers away from Mazabuka district, and is quite a rural constituency which covers up to about 78 kilometer radius, and the width maybe goes up to about 38 kilometers as well. Then from there we have 2 chiefdoms. The chiefdoms that are there, Chief Mwanajungwala, and the other one is Chief Hanjaliga. Then we have about 11 wards. In the 11 wards that I have is that they are all segmented. The other 5 are in the chiefdom of Chief Mwanajungwala. Then the other 5, they are in the chiefdom of Chief Hanjariga. Then the other one they share. So meaning that I have 11. The developmental trajectory begins from the promises that we made for the people, and as you are aware that it being a rural constituency, there are so many problems that we have, starting from the schools, the dams, the boreholes, and the roads, the clinics, you name it. But what we have done of recent past in the allocation of the CDF that we had in 2021, as you remember that in November the government did release 1.6 million for us to begin our development agenda. We had to put this money to finish up projects that were initially done by our colleague who was there, the former MP Honorable Emerson Majila. And then we had to finish 3 health posts. We had to put a bit of some money to patch up Chivuna Road. We had to put up some amount of money also to work on Itebe Road, which we finished last week, though they just had to do nearer to Itebe primary school. Then from there we also put up 99,000 kwacha to patch up Munenga Tandabari Road, of which we finished building the bridge where we put up some culverts because there is a caliver that is crossing the same road. So what we had to do is to put the bridge, and we are going to work on about a kilometer patch up where we are going to put some gravel. As you are aware that the CDF money was increased to significant value of up to about 25.7 million. That money is segmented in some certain divisions. Amongst the divisions there is bursaries for the school-going children. There is also some bursaries for the skills training, and then there is also capital projects. So of the bursaries for school-going children, we had to give about 375 young boys and girls who are going into boarding schools, and we paid this money for 3 terms at once. Then from there we also had to do 300